today when we think about 2021, the entire 2020 was a difficult year for us. The reason because we know this pandemic and it was hit badly throughout, and the world over, everybody was talking about various things. But out of that, what I observed that most of the times the discussion would be all about leadership because in time of such crisis, leadership is a very important part. And if you have a great leaders, definitely they can lead you to the right place and bring you out of this kind of situation. And fortunately, we had few leaders. So whenever I think about leaders, the very first image what comes to my mind is about the great Moses, and I visualize Moses uh, talking to his people about Ten Commandments that goes in the time of Bible. That's how leadership for me it is. Similarly, I see visually at times Mahatma Gandhi talking to all the surging crowd of India fighting for freedom. Similarly, I sometimes visualize Netaji Subhash Babu talking to his men to fight against the tyrannical colonial rule. Similarly, I see visually sometimes Clive Lloyd in 1975 dressing room of Lords talking to his men of West Indies to bring out the glory to them, and they made it. And so sometimes I see even Martin Luther King talking about his dream to the world, which was exploited for the segregation. And in this present era, even I sometimes see Malala in her small little hands holding on that Nobel trophy and talking to the people of world over. Whenever I visually see the leaders, I only see one thing, not of these names. They are great leaders, obviously, and there are so several other leaders. But what I think, what I see, and what I analyze is leaders, they are always away from the crowd, and they are there, and the crowd is all looking at them, listening to them, and getting inspired by them. That's the reason why leaders are always segregated by the crowd. They are all standing all alone, and it is the crowd which listens to them. And this is the only reason of us organizing today this wonderful event called Interclass Elocution Competition organized by Shri TP Bhatia College of Science. And this is all the event we have organized. And we have also planned out a particular day, that is 14th of January. We know 14th of January is the Sankranti. So सगळ्यांना मकर संक्रांतीच्या हार्दिक शुभेच्छा. तिळगुळ घ्या आणि गोड गोडच बोला, कारण तुम्ही वक्तृत्व स्पर्धेला आहात, गोडच बोलना पाहिजे. और एक बात यह है कि संक्रांति में हम पतंग उड़ाते हैं, मेरे बिल्डिंग में उड़ा रहे हैं, आपके बिल्डिंग में उड़ा रहे हैं, हर जगह उड़ा रहे हैं. और उड़ाने का कारण क्या है कि किसी की पतंग कटनी चाहिए. पर मजे की बात यह है कि अपने इस कंपटीशन में, द टुडे कंपटीशन इज ऑर्गेनाइज्ड ऑन 14 नॉट टू किसी और की पतंग कटने के लिए, बल्कि आपकी पतंग और आसमानों तक उड़ने के लिए, ताकि आप अपने आप को आजमाएं. दिस इज द ओनली रीजन व्हाई our college, Shri TP Bhatia College of Science, Kandivli, we have organized this inter-class event of elocution. Today it is a grand finale we have, and we are online streaming throughout, and it's a great pleasure for me. We never thought about that this could be a time when even a competition like this could be organized online on a virtual thing. And so this is a great thing too. Now as I have to introduce the judges as well, and it is all my pleasure, because the moment we came across these people, we thought this could be the best ever platform for such people to come across and judge those kids. The criteria of judging is but obviously on a different level and different scale. But the only criteria we are going to judge the participant is how they are going to explore themselves, because the purpose of this competition is not about winning or losing. It is all about exploring their own self, and this is what the intention we have today. It is my privilege to introduce the honorable judges for this event, and the first one to come but obviously is Saroj Singh madam. Kudos to madam, a big round of applause, though it is all virtual, but there is this clap and I could hear that voice, and that's great thing. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Saroj Singh ma'am is, you can see her smile, that's the only reason why she's here, but there are a few more things. Along with that, she's a member of Swadesh Foundation. We all know Swadesh Foundation is working for for Downtrodden Society, and she's a dedicated one to work for them. Along with that, she's also a member of Women's Development Cell, which is a very important aspect for today's world. And apart from that, she's a HOD of English department from KES College, which is a well-known college in the entire Mumbai, especially in the suburbs for their faculty and for the kind of work they have done so far. And also chairperson of Cultural Association. I know there are so many things there are which we have to speak about, but the time is what makes me to stop here. But I know Saroj ma'am is one of the fantastic individuals we have today, and it's a
Okay, thank
great
you.
Saroj ma'am to be here. And the second person along with Saroj Singh ma'am is obviously another one is Meena Mishra madam. I have no words to speak about her because she's one of the individuals who is really inspiring in all segment of category. Meena Mishra madam is associated with Dr. Radhakrishnan, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan School, Malad West, and she's a senior post faculty for the subject of English. But obviously, we all are from English. Even Saroj ma'am is one of the finest teachers we can come across in terms of English. Meena Mishra ma'am is one of the out-of-box thinker, a social entrepreneur, poetess, writer, awarded of various levels, right from state level to the national level, and she is one of the individual who is always there everywhere, wherever you find any space of improvement, wherever you need students need somebody to inspire, somebody to motivate. और वो मराठी तशी एक कविता आहे कुसुमाग्रजांची, पाठीवर हात ठेवून लढ म्हणा. जेव्हा पण पाठीवर हाताची गरज असते, सर्व ma'am and Meena Mishra ma'am and all these individuals are always there. That's the reason they are on the other side of me, and it is a great pleasure for me to explain more about Meena Mishra ma'am. Her association with writing, her association with social reform is so long that it may take an entire evening for me to go on, but definitely I'll not go because there are some students who are super excited. And Meena Mishra ma'am, whose work of literature is published in various magazines and journals, awarded, and especially I'll tell you, in 2020, Meena Mishra ma'am was very active. In fact, she was active throughout, but I could see 2020 was the year of Meena Mishra. You should never say it is a pandemic era. It is all Meena Mishra ma'am. She was all across the webinars and stuff, and she was a wonderful, wonderful person. That was the reason why she was in so much of demand, and today she is there. Again, a big round of applause, and that's a great thing. Meena ma'am,
Thank you
it's
so much.
absolutely pleasure for us to see you on the other side. The next person is Harsha Chavan, madam. She is a dedicated resource person, one of the finest teachers, and a goal-driven individual who is a professional in terms of her spirit, but still her intentions are always to see that the entire society could get benefit from her. Her extraordinary experience and work so far is almost more than 20 years, and she had been to various committees of Department of Education and more than 200 training programs. She was a part of it. She's a resource person of various such events. She's even a nodal officer for Shala Siddhi, which is a very extraordinary, a very good initiative by the department, and guest speakers for various events across. So these are the judges we have, and mind you, though they have various categories to see how you're going to perform, but the only intention they are going to see is that how far you're going to explore your own self. The competition is not between you and others, it is all between you yourself. You have to see how good you are, and if the moment you realize this is what I am, you have to put your bar to the next level. You just have to push your envelope, and that's the reason we all have these individuals. One more person is there, though she's not on my list, but I want to speak about her. I have read a lot of Sidney Sheldon, and most of you must have done that. Sidney Sheldon is known for wonderful fictions, and all stories of Sidney Sheldon's you will find that the protagonist is always a woman. She is extraordinary in all the stories of uh, all of his stories, right from Memories of Midnight to the Windmills of God to the Rage of Angels, Bloodline. You will find Sidney Sheldon is peculiar in terms of writing stories. And it is because of the technical thing. I just have to. And one such individual, I don't know whether Sydney Sheldon was aware of her existence, but whatever stories he had penned down with the extraordinary aspects of a leader and a woman, Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava is the epitome of what you can read in all the person in the category of motivational. The moment you think about reach out, she's always available. She's the one who will always behind students to do everything possible in the category of best. She will never let down any student. And I have seen her for last 20 years, to be precise, from 2001. This person is same what was there in 2001. She's the same person today. Even I've seen a lot of people, they change. Changing, but Sangeeta Srivastava madam, she's all there. The only change what I've seen is that she is upgrading herself every day. Every day. It is not once in a year or in a decade. Every day. And that's the reason today she is done doctorate and associated with lot many things. Had presented papers on international platforms. Being a resource person, she was a state award in 2017, and she had won various awards. In fact, if I'm not wrong, it is every year at least 5 6 awards ma'am will bring in, and then too there'll be never thing like, okay, I'm somebody. She's always the one who will say, no, I'm nobody. It is all the institute. And so, ma'am, it is actually a pleasure from us, and this is coming out of heart, because sometimes we talk about things from our mind, and sometimes it comes from the heart, and today it is coming from the heart. It is all pleasure of me to be on this platform with this wonderful women, and that shows the women empowerment. And now, as a
Samir sir,
yes,
excuse
ma'am.
me.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just want to add that she's a wonderful singer too.
Yes, ma'am. See, हाँ, मैम इतने सारी खूबियां हैं कि मैं
Yes,
भूल जाता
we
हूँ कि
have
मैं क्या
heard her
करूँ,
songs.
मैडम उम्र हो रही है, but
I have
that's it
heard
is.
her songs, and
Yes,
it's like, very soulful singing it is. So wonderful it is.
I
madam.
think let us proceed towards the
यस यस
program
यस मैम मैम
session.
पर मैडम के बारे में एक बात कहूंगा मैं, भगवान है कि नहीं आसमान में नहीं जानता, लेकिन सूरज है,
Oh my
चांद है,
God.
और मैडम के स्वर घूमते रहते हैं. मॅडमचे स्वर मी ऐकलेले आहेत, आणि स्पेशली बसायदान हे माझ्या म्हणजे मनात न उतरत नाही, ते स्वर अजूनही घूमता है. तो इसके लिए हम कहते हैं ये तारों मंडल में शायद चांद सूरज तो है, लेकिन साथ में संगीता श्रीवास्तव के स्वर भी है, और उसके लिए उनके नाम में संगीत है. सो आई आस्क मैम प्रिंसिपल टू टेक ओवर फ्रॉम हियर.
Thank you so much, Samir sir, for such a elaborate introduction. I welcome all of you. I hope I am clear. Yeah, my
Yes,
voice.
ma'am.
So I welcome once again to the Kandivali Education Society's Shri T.P. Bhatia College of Science, and I welcome all the Standard 11 students. Our new students, we haven't met you, but yes, in this year, that was 2020-21, we all are here in 21, and that is a reason enough to celebrate, and that is why we started this year with this new event which comes under the co-curricular activities. But as Samir sir just now said, that this is a very important activity for the students of science, because communication, elocution, speech, these things have become very vital, has always been a vital part of any personality. And we want our students who have come here to study science from various schools, they all have come from good schools, but we want you to further, because these 2 years in TP Bhatia College are going to be your defining years of your life, where you study as well as you develop your personality as a child and as an adolescent. After this, when you pass out from here, you become an adult. But just before stepping into that new world, you are going to spend 2 precious years with us, and it will be a pressure, it will be such a I would say it's a matter of pride for us that we have so many students all over the world spread out in various fields, in various professions in science, and it gives us really a good pressure every time when we have a new batch. We enjoy doing activities with you because we know that these one each activity are like a step of a ladder, and you every time you come and participate either as a participant or as an audience, you all learn a lot. I thank our coordinator of the co-curricular activities, Anuradha Singh, and the English department. I congratulate you to begin the year with this activity. Although we had begun in October with Gandhi Jayanti, but then it was only 60% students who were admitted by that time. But now we have almost full admissions, and the college has begun full fledged. And this is our first activity, I would say. So first of all, congratulating the English department of TP Bhatia College. We have Samir Khasne sir, you were hearing him. We have Shalini Mundhra, who has been a pivotal person behind this activity. She is present here. Madhvi Joshi and Rachna Parmar. All these people have really worked hard to get this event online, first time in the history of TP Bhatia College. And I look forward because this has been we have come to this day by eliminating more than almost 100 participants who took part, which is a very good number. And today we will have as final participants, we have Sheikh Juveria Shakti Devi, Parth Mehta, Gretika Biswal, Nauf Zakir Khan, Shravani Hundare, Khyati Joshi, Anisha Singh, Riva Mishra, Yash Siddhapura, Akansha Rai, Shoaib Khan, Yash Prajapati, Nishtha Soni, Yashasvi Majitia, and Prutha Pandya. These students are going to be here as a participant as a final. I also take great pride in welcoming our guest for today's event. Today's guest, as a guest speaker, I would say, because we would not just the guest, we want to hear you also. First of all, we have Miss Sonu Sarda. Sonu Sarda ma'am is present here. Welcome, ma'am. She is joining us from Australia, and let me tell you something about her. She actually is an economics lecturer, and she has been in the education sector for more than 25 years now, and she has taught in more than 100 nationalities across multiple universities in different parts of the world with different curriculums like American, British, Australian, and Indian. She has been vice chancellor. She has received vice chancellor's award for learning and teaching excellence in different universities. She is also a passionate writer, orator, mentor, and a trainer at the core. She is also an active member of the Indian Literary Association in Sydney, in Australia. She writes poems and blogs for young adults like you all, and she also mentors them and is also a motivational speaker. We are so fortunate, ma'am, to have you. You have so many things. If I go on reading it, I think we need a lot of time, but I will read some important things. Like, she has her method is of simple to complex for teaching, and she says that so that the learner is self motivated for a lifelong learning. And I'm sure you guys, when you have time, please go and visit her blogs, which are by her name, and on the YouTube you'll find her poetries and articles and so many things. Our second guest, again feeling very proud to welcome him. I don't know whether has joined yet or not. I think he hasn't joined yet. So when he joins, I'm going to again welcome him and introduce him. But right now, let me just tell you that he is our ex student of 2005, and at present he will be joining us from Canada. You know that it was not yet morning there, and he will soon join. And he is Dushyant Kawdiker. He has masters in international marketing from Hult International Business School, San Francisco, and he is also a business instructor at Greystone College, Vancouver, Canada. And he will be joining us. And Dushyant has been a very, very creative and active student while he was here, and later on also, because he does photography, short filmmaking, which he learnt and he uses it as his hobby. So we'll wait for Dushyant to join. But meanwhile, I don't want our participants to wait, and I request Samir sir to now start the program and let us go ahead with the main event, that is the competition. Thank you so much. Samir sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, yes, ma'am. It is absolutely pleasure to see you all and even to know about these eminent people who are going to speak. Ma'am specially kept one person for me to speak about because this is, in fact, she wanted to speak, but I said, ma'am, please, I request you, you speak about other judges and let me speak about Ruby Marsha, ma'am. And ma'am was kind enough, as we know, she is very generous, and she said, absolutely, you can talk about. So I take a privilege to talk about one of the guest speakers we have, and she's Ruby Marsha, madam. Ruby Marsha, it is a pleasure to see you here, and I know that the moment you're going
Samir
to
sir,
speak.
Ruby Marsha was present here in the beginning, and I just thought you
Yes, 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 ma'am.
forgot to mention her name. I
No,
know
no,
that she
that's
was. I also want to welcome all the judges, Ruby ma'am, Saroj Singh ma'am, Meena Mishra ma'am, and Harsha Chavan ma'am. Big welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you
yes,
so
ma'am.
much.
Uh,
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, Sangeeta, ma'am, Ruby Marsha, ma'am, and you have a kind of cosmic connection.
Uh-huh.
And this is you write wonderful poems, and you have published your poetry. And so even Ruby Marsha, ma'am, she is one of the finest poets we can come across on English fraternity, and her book is there in our college library, On the Earth. And this was the book which I received when I went there. She had penned down several short stories, a novel, and mind you, ma'am, she is also one of the motivational speakers we can find, and she runs a YouTube channel especially for the kids who can who feel like they are down and out. Sometimes they feel they are dejected, and her channel is something which is really small, short, simple stories, but they are very motivational. And Ruby Mashi, ma'am, on behalf of the entire college, and especially from Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava, we extend a very warm welcome for you. Your presence actually matters as a very, very important thing. Thank you, ma'am. So
Thank you,
with
sir.
this, thank you, ma'am. So with this, we start with the event. Participants, I suppose you all are ready. You all are excited. I can see on the other side there is no fear. They all are excited. The only thing what I can see from them is they are all super excited. So keep on with this excitement, and we'll start rolling with the event. And I invite the first participant. That is F1. F1 is the first participant to speak, and so I request the participant to come and talk about his topic. F1.
A very good evening to one and all present here. Oh, wait, let me rephrase it. A very good evening to one and all attending this webinar. I, Parth Mehta, will be addressing this audience on the topic of are newspapers relevant today? The year was 1605 when the mighty weapon was first established in Rome. The weapon of knowledge and wisdom, apprehension and proficiency, enlightenment and philosophy. In Rome, it was used as a means of exchanging information from north, east, west, and south, thus getting an abbreviation of news. A wonderful saying goes by, a good newspaper is a nation talking to itself. So true, isn't it? A newspaper has the potential to capture all the information across the world and allows the reader to get acknowledged by it. However, the advancement in the technologies of social media and mass media have really turned the tables for the newspaper industries. It is quoted that do not believe everything you see on the internet just because it has an image and a quote next to it. Internet being an unmoderated form, any random person with next to no experience could be uploading the news, and the news uploaded could be rather vague than true. Whereas the news on the internet, whereas the news found in the newspaper has verified sources. Moreover, moreover, the newspaper has interesting slots for all the ages, comics for kids, news on business markets for adults, religious stories, and horoscope for elderlies. Along with the information and knowledge, it also has exciting competitions, fun quizzes with prizes to offer. But don't worry, unlike internet, you do not have the risk of getting involved in online scams. Having known that a newspaper is a sea of knowledge and wisdom, it can also be used as home remedies. Now you see where I'm going with this, right? newspapers can be used as table covers. You all must have done it. Don't deny. We as Indians never throw out old newspapers. We recycle them. And you know how do we do that. So I do not need to justify on that point, right? Okay, jokes apart. To sum up, I would like to say that the newspaper holds much of a relevance in the today's world, no matter how obvious or how significant the reason is. The newspaper should not be defined by its second word paper. It should be defined by the first word news said by well, who cares, as if I told you and you would go and thank the gentleman. But the main focus is that the one who doesn't read will call it a paper, and the more intelligent and knowledgeable will call it a news. Lastly, I would like to say that most of the majority of the competitive exams are based on current affairs. So shouldn't they be reading the newspaper, or should they wait for someone to publish a GK book for them? You decide. Until then, you remember me forever. Thank you.
It was wonderful, and he spoke about newspapers. What I can see from his speech overall was that he got the potential to even sell dreams. So just keep it on with your dream, and you're going to make a big one. So we have the second to roll in, that is F2. F2, be ready and best of luck.
If you don't listen me, it's make my heart break, and your reaction of understanding everything will just looking like a fake. So a very good afternoon to everyone. I am Sheikh Jweria from 11th D, and I am here to talk about relationships in the digital world. So as we all know how much we are engaged and connected with technology, from paying bills to communicating each other. There are ample of things which we can do online and with the help of internet source. Indeed, we can see that how much a technology can help us. This we might have seen in this pandemic and lockdown. We can easily balance our relationships with teachers, friends, relatives, etc. by giving less efforts and time. But I want to tell you something very sensitive. As every coin has two sides similarly, this part also has some consequences. And it is an eye-opener for you all. I want to ask all of you just one question. How much time do you give to your loved ones? Do we really sit with them and talk to them at least for an hour? Obviously not, right? So this thing I want to tell you all my youth, including myself. Technology has connected ourselves from here to long and long kilometers away. We have friends in Canada, USA. We talk to them on Facebook, Instagram, and on other social media. We talk to people who even don't much matter at all in our lives. And we don't realize that we are just at home physically but not mentally. The values of relationships must be maintained by giving time, meeting face to face. Listening and solving each other problems are much important than just asking a person, hey, how are you on social media? People have thousands of friends on social media, but still feel alone because of being trapped into this fake world. I will conclude my speech by giving a message to you all. Let us keep our smartphones aside for a while. Let us talk to our family. Let's enjoy the food. Let's meet our friends. Let's see the real problems of society. Let's help practically. Let's love few but valuable people. Let's see the beauty of our inner qualities. Let's meet our teachers once in the blue moon at least. Let's use technology whenever it's needed. I want a son should sit next to his mom, love her, talk to her, rather than just being busy in their professional lives. Okay. I want a daughter to see her father to offer a glass of water to him when he comes back to home. Instead of replying someone, oh my dear, I can do anything for you. I want even parents should be open up and talk to their children. I will just say 2 lines and conclude. To use technology, we pay a good price, but the outcome what we get is not much nice. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
It was really good. From her, what I can learn is that you should not always be to the first, but whenever you are, you should be always in your best form. And she was in her best form. I need to say that now the best is yet to come. This is F3 who is going to be rolled now. F3, your time starts now.
F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now. F3, your time starts now.
Greetings to one and all. My name is Shakti Devi and I'm from Living. My topic name is Travel is not a reward for working, it's an education for living. People often travel not just for relaxation but also for experience. The lazy ones who sit at home often refers to geography and others refers to their beautiful memories. Memories never die. They walk with you to your grave. Traveling maybe for a weekend or a vacation, but you end up learning new language. You experience new food. You feel loved in a different weather. You see poverty and richness on the same road. You see life. Traveling can be reward for one or two, and those are the people who live far away from their family. They get opportunity to spend time they lost, and they normally don't realize that. I'm so sorry, sir. When you get a job for 9 to 5, you hate it. You normally don't realize that job fills your pocket, but traveling fills your soul. If you're an introvert, travel alone. If you're an extrovert, travel with someone. Because there is no restriction or territorial, I don't know, need. Because if we had a limitation to travel, we could have never reached the moon. And remember, we still have the whole universe to cover. I will end up saying that, traveling is important. There are many journeys in life and endless things to learn, as not all classrooms have walls. Thank you.
It was great, absolutely great. Second, no need to say sorry. As I said, we all are here to explore our own self. And what I can see from you, you're going to travel for a great distance from here to come. And we wish you all the best. You have done a wonderful job. A big round of applause for this girl. And now we are going to start with F4. And F4, the time starts now.
Good evening to one and all present in the webinar. I am F4. My name is Shoaib Khan. Today I am present over here to give a speech on a very debateful topic. Are newspaper relevant today? Newspaper is a powerhouse of information and a necessity for human life. It is a form of printed media that gives us information from all the nooks and corners of the world. And according to a research, India is the biggest market for newspaper in the world, and approximately 100 million copies of newspaper are sold each day. So, I would like to ask you a question. What is newspaper? Newspaper is north, east, west, south, past and present events record. A newspaper in the present time makes us aware with the current events of a nation. It also brings the news of the world and the news of the masses to us. According to a study, the students who learn from the newspaper become more active citizens as adults. The relevance of printed newspaper may seem declining since as early as the 1950s with the arrival of television. With the arrival of television, the demise of printed newspaper may seem inevitable, but despite the death knells, newspaper remain an important part of the media landscape. Across every age category, newspaper have a much lower impact on people's entertainment decision. But newspapers aren't obsolete. They are very relevant when it comes to marketing the specific demographics of consumer. Getting an ad place in the newspaper means you are talking to an audience who will be very, very attentive to a message because they trust the information in the particular newspaper. Consumers are less likely to get annoyed when they see the advertisement in the newspapers or magazines than they are when they see them online. So if your major strategy to go get to the consumer is through the way of advertisement, newspaper will be your best thing. So newspaper can't be defined by the second word paper. They are defined by the first word news. Therefore, they are also considered as the fourth pillar of democracy. Newspaper brings the information to us from all the nooks and corners of the world, whereas the digital media has a need to be timely and they post the news. Due to this, the misinformation often spreads very soon in the digital space, whereas the newspaper come out on the next day. Therefore, the journalists have more time to give us credible and authentic information. This feature always helps the newspaper to stay ahead in the game when it comes to authenticity. Also, newspapers are very easy and can be carried anywhere with us. So, till the time we don't equip everyone in our society with accurate digital literacy, there is no way we can say that newspapers aren't relevant. Thank you.
Wonderful. So far, as I played cricket for certain levels, so I was a great fan of Imran Khan Saab as a fast bowler. In terms of acting, Irfan Khan Saab, but obviously one of the finest actors. And now I'm a fan of Shoaib Khan for his wonderful speech. Great job, Shoaib, and all the other participants who so far have done that. So now we roll on with the next F5. Time starts now, and be ready now. F5.
Shravani, F5.
I am extremely sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Good evening to all of you. I am Shravani Hundare. Would like to start by asking few questions to all of you. Do you remember the kid in the school that who always got selected as the class representative, or that friend of yours who gave the best presentations, or that party animal friend who's always surrounded by people? Why were the people so popular? What was so special among them? Yes, you heard me right. From the time we wake up until the time we sleep, we are surrounded by people. Whether you are an extrovert or an introvert, whether you like it or you don't, you have to interact with people. That's when soft skills comes into the picture. Soft skills are the personal attributes that enable you to communicate and interact effectively with others. Soft skills help us to build the gap between the communication. It is also said that our body is the one state that can always help you stand firmly and give speech. There are many parts in soft skills. Many believe that the way we communicate, the way we talk, the way we present ourselves is supposed to be the main representation of ourselves. It is also said that many experts believe that the way we talk, the way we maintain our physical powers are all about the it. Abusing this can harm your power. Underusing it can harm the lack of opportunity. That's the reason soft skills are very important. You might have heard that Harvard study states that only 15% of the jobs are given for technical skills, but 85% of it, you heard me right, 85% of it are attributed to soft skills. When you got the soft skill right, you got the ability to perform and speak well. Soft skills is like reading a book or riding a bicycle. The well you perform, the well more you get perfect in it. Many experts says that when you get to arrange your time, manage your time accordingly, handling all the deadlines, you get yourself in a great applause, walking towards your great success. It's always been an epitome of success if you present yourself the best. Thank you.
The way she was talking, I thought I'm looking at TED Talks of 2012 when Amy Curry, one of the finest of the speakers, she spoke about, and she's really wonderful one, and great round of applause for her. And the next one to follow is F6. Now the time starts now for F6. Be ready.
Good evening to one and all present here. My name is Gritika Viswal from 11th E. As we all know that we have gathered here for an elocution competition. So first of all, I would like to welcome our honored guest and thank our respected principal and teachers for giving us this beautiful opportunity to prove ourselves and get out of the box. Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic, that is travel is not a reward for working, it is education for living. There are times when we push ourselves into robots just to work until our lives get boring and stagnant. So we decide to take a break. But we don't realize it that we are not only just taking a break, we are also rewarding ourselves with knowledge about new cultures, new adventures. This proves travel can be educational in many ways. Whenever we go to a new place, we meet new people, and in order to communicate with them, we learn their basic native language. So in a way, travel pushes us to learn new languages. And even if you have learned the language, you can test your language skills by traveling. By traveling, you not only get to learn languages, you also get to know about different cultures across the world. Isn't it awesome? You get to understand the differences or the variations between the cultures. These differences exist in cuisine, art, music, nature. But in spite of the differences, we can also find many similarities, such as the shared love for art, music, food, and nature. We have studied about civilizations and major historic events in our history class or history books. That was quite boring. But nothing can beat traveling to a historic place or wandering around yourself in a city's origin or roots. Travel also teaches us about the present of the world, like the political situation, economic scenario, and the social structure of the world. Travel, not only that, travel also shows us the value of nature and how important it is to solve issues like global warming, climate change, and air pollution. And at the end of the day, you get to be relaxed. You are able to find yourself more, and you are able to explore about yourself more. Ultimately, you are yourself, and you need yourself. You are your own savior. Thank you.
Uh, Very good. What I got from your speech is that traveling is more important than the destination, and of course it is, because it is the process of learning, and we have learned so much things from you. Great job. Now to roll on, the next is F7. F7. It is your time, and you're going to make it. Be ready.
Good evening to one and all present here. Myself Nav Khan from grade 11. So for today, my topic is, are newspaper relevant today? Before I begin, I would like to ask a question to all the members here. Which is the most important and popular section in the newspaper in our country? I guess everybody has the same answer. It's political section. So let's begin with the importance of newspaper. Newspaper is the most powerful way of spreading awareness and information among people. Information is a vital thing, as we need to know what is happening around us. Government and official announcements are also done in newspaper. Government and private sector employment information of like job vacancies are also published in newspaper. Newspaper is an ideal source of increasing current affairs. In most of the household in the current society, the morning starts with the reading of newspaper. It's just like a daily basic routine. Now comes to the point 2, hashtag 2, newspaper and other communication channel. In this age of digitalization, abundant data are available on the internet. Most of the news channel, to cope up with the trend of digitalization, has opened their own websites and public application, mobile application. In this current scenario, where information is almost available at real time on the internet. However, the daily, weekly newspaper still holds its importance in this digital era. Newspaper is also considered as most of the authentic source of spreading information. Most of the newspaper has several sections for the young and school students to showcase their talents. Several articles on the quiz, short stories, essays, and paintings are also published, which makes newspaper more interesting and more inculcating the habit of reading newspaper daily. Newspaper is an ideal source for ourselves, which help us in inculcating the habit of reading. Therefore, each and everyone should imbibe the habit of reading of newspaper. So, before I stop, I would like to conclude with a beautiful line. Newspaper cannot be defined by the second word paper. Newspaper cannot be defined by the second word paper because they have got to be defined by the first word news. Thank you.
I'm absolutely sure that better you're going to make a big news for yourself, because you have that potential to make a dent in the universe like Steve Jobs did. So great job. And now the next one to roll in is F8. So be ready. Your time starts now.
A very good evening to one and all present here. Today, I'm going to speak on the topic relationships in a digital world. Well, the first question that pops in our mind after listening to this is what is a relationship? Well, according to Google, it's the way in which two or more people connect, or rather, the state of mind being connected. As we spend more and more time snuggled up with our smartphones, laptops, and tablets, a big question looms. Are these gadgets bringing us closer together or further apart? In the modern day, people tend to live in the digital world more than the real world, which results in a myriad of shallow relationships and a great reduction in intimacy, which affects the way that people operate, the values and expectations they have, and the way that they think about others. The biggest issue with technology and relationships is its inability to detect tone. You can never really know when someone is being sarcastic, funny, serious, or joking. Technology fails to deliver essential personal touch. Sometimes we just need a hug, a handshake, or a pat on the back. We often get emojis and stickers on social media. The thumbs up symbol and the smiley faces are cute, but they don't give us a personal connection with the poster. Do we use technology to pet our dogs and cats? Not likely, because they couldn't care less. All in all, the impact of technology on human interaction paints a really gloomy picture. But it's a very valuable discussion to have, as it teaches us the importance of balancing our offline and online communications personally and professionally. Face to face interactions are predominantly synchronous, meaning they occur naturally. The listener has an instantaneous receipt and a quick response. The online communications can be synchronous as well, with quick responses, but sometimes they turn out to be asynchronous. Lastly, I would like to say that we cannot let our relationships get affected with technology. Grant, the 18th US President, says that if a relationship constructed through online resources is treated with respect, consideration, and slow construction, it can be a really great way to meet someone you might have never had the opportunity to encounter. Thank you.
It is said that you need to be always a step ahead of the competition, and she was a step ahead, and there are a few more to step in now. The next participant is F9. F9, the time starts.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Today, something that I'm going to talk about is something without which maybe even I would not have been able to come up and come here on the podium and speak with confidence. And I guess most of you must have guessed what kind of skill it is. It's communication. Yes, communication is definitely a very great skill, but actually, what kind of skill it is? Okay, let me cut to the chase. Communication is a soft skill. Now, what actually is a soft skill? Okay, let me be honest. Soft skills are something which are supposed to be opposite of hard skills. Now, you must have been confused and you must have been thinking, what have I done? And I've introduced two new words at the same time. But let me tell you, it will be better to explain it in this way. Okay, let's take an example. Say there's a doctor and he has done a rigorous amount of study in his field. He has an immense knowledge of medicine. He has treated hundreds of patients. He has solved thousands of cases. But he is not kind of good in treating patients. And I'll tell you why. He does not emotionally connect with them. He does not talk to them as a friend, but he talks to them as only a very serious doctor, a very sober man. And there's another doctor who has done an enough amount of study in his field, and he emotionally connects with his patients with sympathy and empathy. And on top of that, he talks to them as a friend, and he asks them about his family, their friends, their relationship, and a lot of other things in his life. So, whom would you prefer going to? Of course, the second one. And let us understand that the second one is also the one who will cure better. And why is this so? Because something that the first doctor was lacking was soft skills. Now, you must have understood what soft skills actually are. And if I were to define hard skills, actually, they are something like academic skills and whatever you have learned throughout your school life, not only your school life, any kind of study you have done in your field, theory, and whatever such things you have learned. And if I were to talk about soft skills, they are something which are based more on your moral values and the way you talk, the way you communicate, the way you treat other people, how well and how freely you treat other people, how open you are with them, and such other things. And let me tell you why soft skills are so important. Soft skills are kind of universal. You may be a cook, a teacher, a doctor, or anything, an engineer or anything. But the main thing that all of them need are soft skills. Soft skills are especially very important for a leader. Why? Because a leader is someone who stands out of the crowd, and soft skills like communication, time management, thinking, critical thinking, such things are very important for a leader. They are the ones who motivate others, and they will not only do well in their job, but they will make the whole world succeed. So, if I were to conclude, I would like to say that we need to learn soft skills as well as hard skills to excel in our job. Thank you.
I think I know his birth date, and that is 15th of October 1964. No, don't get confused, everyone. He is not that old, but that is the date of Jack Ma when he was born, and I could see the kind of spirit he was talking, the same like Jack Ma, the entrepreneur from Alibaba, and you have that spirit of Alibaba. So keep it on. And the next one to roll in is F10. F10, the time starts now for you.
Good evening to one and all present over here. My name is Khyati Joshi and I'm from 11th A. Today, I'm going to share my views on the topic, are newspapers relevant today? Newspapers are known as the mirrors of the society. It is a quite powerful tool that provides us information. It acts as a bridge between the government and the people. In addition, it also provides us knowledge. Newspapers are considered as the fourth pillar of our democracy. It is a quite reliable source that provides us information only after thoroughly investigating it. But with this 21st century, where other dominant media such as the radio, television, etc., have almost taken over our lives, have the good old newspapers really lost their relevance over these years? Are newspapers really important in today's era? Well, in my opinion, newspapers are important even in today's era. Some people cannot afford radio, television, etc., but they can surely afford a newspaper. Newspapers provide us ample of information within minimal expense. Also, the older generations find it difficult to fiddle with the internet, and for them, newspaper is the only source they can rely on. While going to different places, while traveling, it is difficult to carry a proper electronic device with a proper internet connection. Newspapers are easy to carry and are found in each and every corner of the world. Also, some people have made reading newspaper as an habit, and as we all know, that habits are hard to die. Moreover, the newspaper work survey suggests that 90% of people are more focused while reading a newspaper as compared to a mere 50% of people for television. Newspapers helps us in increasing our vocabulary skills. Also, newspapers helps us in understanding about the events and the things that are happening all around the world. Newspapers have an everlasting charm. The newspapers provide us qualitative analysis with a high level of integrity as compared to the much hyped media that look for the breaking news. Newspapers can be also informative as well as it provides us knowledge. With the high development of the technology as well as reforms and gadgets, reading will become as extinct as the newspapers. We must keep the newspapers in still reading and get to know about the things that are happening all around the world. Newspapers have an everlasting charm and they can never be replaced. Thank you.
The smart ones, they use their brain, and the wise ones, they use their heart. This is a universal truth. But this wonderful kid was the combination of extraordinary stuff because she was using her brain and her heart together. So she seems to be the extraordinary one. There are a few more extraordinary students to roll in. Now we'll have F11. The time starts now for you.
Good evening, one and all present this evening. Today, I, Anisha Singh of Shri Bhatia College, would like to express my views on the topic travel is not reward for working, it's education for living. Travel. After hearing this word, the first thing that usually comes in our mind is peace, rest, maybe escape from tons of work. But the thing, traveling is the course that's to be done in order to learn new things, culture, art, and beauty. That is why travel is important to us. Travel is not just about destination, it's about experience. Travel teaches us patience because we don't always get everything we want. Travel teaches us empathy because we don't always get everything we want in this world. Once the greed got the better of us, we can also understand that hope and ambition, it should rather be on the extent that the journey becomes more enjoyable while we travel. Also, we observe the beauty of nature and culture in its different aspects. We live in a world that is full of beauty, charm, and adventure. There is no end to the adventures that we can have, only if we seek them with our eyes open. These words said by Shri Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru also led us to the thinking that by just sitting idle at one place, not doing anything for hours, would make a person unproductive and useless. Unless you won't take an action that will make your life better for you. I wonder if the world is really that wide, that we can be unaware of several creations going around us. He who does not travel does not know the values of men. Travel does not only remain till educating us with knowledge, but also with knowledge and beauty. This Moorish proverb led us to the thinking that it develops us to be person who represents his her birthplace and education received by his her elder. While we travel, we meet different people. We get to know about different experiences, situations that come up. So we interact with them, and also because of this, we turn into family. Strangers also turn into friends by just spending few hours on train, bus, and there goes a very famous Indian saying. Sometimes wrong train also takes us to the right destination. Travel also helps us to develop ourselves into a more mature person, the society of the society, because traveling also gives us the responsibility of self security, also taking care of the people we travel with. Thus, I would like to conclude that traveling does not only remain till resting, but it also teaches us many good things. All I want to say is keep learning, exploring, and traveling. Thank you.
Yes, of course. She mentioned about traveling and what you did and all the other participants are doing is they are on the right train, right time, and right place of this wonderful place called Shri Bhatia College of Science. So we have so many wonderful kids still lined up into. So I'm going to invite the next one. This is F12. Your time starts now.
Hello, everyone, and a very good evening to respected principal, judges, and teachers. I am Nishtha Soni from Standard 11, Section A, feeling immensely grateful to have given a chance to speak on the topic relationships in a digital world. Let me start by asking you a question. Has the internet helped us to form meaningful relationships with others, thereby enabling us to live long and healthy lives? Or is there a reason to believe that online communication in the digital era has actually harmed our relationships, our communities, and our abilities to empathize with one another? Everyone today is wired to each other in some way or the other, but without real wires. Digital technology keeps us in a world of our own, insulated and isolated from the real world. Media technology and the internet have developed at a faster pace than our ability to understand the social, emotional, and psychological impact of digital technology on human beings and human relationships. From electricity at one point to telephones and television, and now to a more complex world of computers and cell phones, technology has always moved hand in hand with human development. The most important metric by which technological innovations should be judged is whether or not they support us to live good, meaningful lives. The prevalence of online communication tools of all kinds, everything from emails to online messaging on social media platforms, has kept us has has a need for in-person interactions. We communicate to live, and relationships are the most important determinant for our overall quality of life. They are crucial for our mental and physical health, our community well-being, our political system, as well as our national security. When it becomes easier to communicate with others from behind a screen, we become less in tune with how to read facial expressions and tone of voice. We become less sensitive to the way how our interactions with others are making them feel. More and more people use the internet to communicate, while spoken communication and human relationships and dialogue continue to suffer. Well, digital technology is a topic on which I can go on, but due to time restrictions, I would like to end up my speech by saying that digital technology is here to stay, and we must be mindful of its rich yet unwieldy potential while impacting human relationships. I appreciate you for giving me your time today. Thank you.
What I can see from her is that she got that decision-making skills, which are very important in public speaking, and you have that potential. So keep working on it. Now, the next one to roll in is F13, 1-3. Your time starts now.
Good evening, one and all. My name is Reba Mishra, and today I would like to share my thoughts on whether newspapers are relevant today. In ancient times, news traveled from one place to another on a horseback, through seas, or by carrier pigeon. Only a limited section of society received news of great or important occurrence in the world. The invention of printing press, however, changed all that. When newspapers began to be published, news reached many more people than it used to earlier. Now, we cannot imagine a world without a newspaper at our doorstep every morning. No matter how much of a hurry we are in, there's always time to take a quick look at the headlines, which tells us at a glance what is happening around the world. The toppling of a monarchy, forming of a new government, winning or losing of a cricket match, the tragedies of a common man are all covered in the 15 odd sheets which comprise of a newspaper. There's hardly any aspect of life which is not covered by them. The value of newspaper is indisputable. They have something for everybody and are enjoyed by the young and old alike. These days, newspapers are accompanied with colored supplements which add to the educational, informative, and entertainment value of the newspapers. Expert writers give their opinion on society, politics, films, art, drama, and books. Newspapers bring awareness and consciousness to the literate public and spur it to independent thought and action. Through newspapers, we can increase our vocabulary and develop a habit of reading to become aware of the problems our society and country face, and we can gain knowledge of what is happening around the world. It is a well established fact that newspapers are important. Nobody can deny that. But one should not take to heart every word that is printed in them. We should exercise discrimination while reading the newspapers. In spite of the onslaught of television and internet on the modern world, the value of newspapers has not declined. This is evident from the number of newspapers in circulation and their immense popularity. I am sure we all missed the paper boy during the pandemic. Happy indeed is a person who has inculcated the habit of reading a newspaper, because such a person is never lonely or sad. Whenever they are bored, they can pick up a newspaper and lose themselves in the vast world contained therein. So, to answer the question whether newspapers are relevant or not, I would say yes, they are. The written word will always remain the most powerful means of expression and communication. Thank you.
Bill Gates said once that if I were down with my last dollar, still I will spend that last dollar on PR, that public relation, because he is aware of public relation and how it can be effective. And the participant who just finished is so good. You can definitely get a job with Bill Gates, and hope to see you soon with him. So the next participant to roll in is F14, and your time starts now.
A very heartiest welcome to respected principal, teacher, guests, judges, and all my dear audience.
This is Yashasvi Majithia presenting you the topic Role of Soft Skills for Being Successful. Soft skills are the ones that cannot be measured. Unlike academic intelligence, these are creative intelligence, which includes social knowledge, communication, teamwork, leadership, etc. Now, I have a question for y'all. Do you all think that balance is important in life? I take a decision which has my mind and brain both in it. Only then I can take my path. Similarly, hard skills and soft skills, when complement each other, lead us to success. Soft skills are a series of skills. I'll start from the one I feel important, social knowledge. Now, we need to be updated with the world. We need to go with the world. This gives us scope to communicate with people. So, second factor, communication. I believe that words are to be thrown very wisely. They act as sword. Each and every word we utter out of our mouth is very impactful. It's just like, it's like a gleam in the dim. It can take us high, but it can throw us down. It is the most powerful thing when uttered. Yes, it's just a simple word. Now, when we know to communicate and express ourselves, the third thing we enter into our social network is relation development, which gradually leads us to teamwork. So, second question for you all. What do you all think? Which company, organization, or firm won't like a strong team? A strong team means a strong base. Strong base is unity, unity is strength. It leads the organization take ahead. Now, third thought which I give to myself is, how do I be different in the team? Well, we all have individuality. It's just that we should know to present it with whole confidence and behavior too. Because behavior gives us an explosion to keep us idea and keep ourselves ahead. Now, if people like our ideas, that leads us to a unanimous leadership. Now, leadership is important because that helps us to represent ourselves and choose our own team. Yes, choices, perceptions, and paths we choose, these are the important sources which lead us to success. I have an example of Mr. Dhoni. He was a leader, a captain of Indian team in year 2011. Although media heated up, he chose his decisions himself. He knew whom to eliminate, whom to not, and made India one. Last but not the least, I would like to say that soft skills help us progress. They lead us to a path of success. They help us grow in life. With them, we end up in a beautiful glow in life. Thank you for being a great audience. Happy Makar Sankranti and the day ahead.
One of the most imaginative entrepreneurs of 21st century is obviously Elon Musk, and I can see the most imaginative speaker of 21st century from our college is this wonderful girl who just finished with her speech, and then the same person who is in the next in line is F15, and the time starts now for you.
Respected Principal Ma'am, honorable judges, and my dear friends, a very good evening to all of you. I'm Rudha Pandya from Division A FIJC, and today I would like to express my views on relationships in a digital world. The term digital world is basically a stylistic expression to highlight the significance and importance of various digital systems and technology in contemporary society. Now, the question arises that whether this digital system or technology has transformed human relationships in an assertive manner or has reduced it just to mere formalities without any emotions or feelings. So, I strongly believe that this modern technology has acted as a boon in the present era. During the 19th century, we all were not confronted with modern technology or digital systems. At that time, communicating with our family members and intimacy among them were the only sources. The mode of entertainment was playing games, communicating with each other, and getting socialized. Still, some of us complain that those personal touch or values are dwindling, but it is nothing else, just a perception. We need to perceive this new world with utmost optimism and also understand the present need of mankind. Just think about the unpredictable COVID 19 situation when we all were isolated at our homes, away from our friends and relatives. Just think how social media played a major role when we all were not allowed to move freely and enjoy the bounty of nature. Just imagine how video calls, chatting, and virtual interaction played a major role. It saved several lives. It also imbibed a sense of positivity within us, and also it kept us united and connected with each other. At that time, the only thing which would matter to us was the well being of our kids and kids. Maybe our way of expressing our sorrows, joys, and emotions has changed, but that does not mean that we have completely become heartless or less interactive. Just think about our grandparents, how they enjoy learning new things on internet by us. Their excitement while playing online games with us, their curiosity while clicking a selfie with us, and also their eagerness or keenness to learn new things from us on internet. Whether it is business, relations, or education, modern technology has played a major role in it. Like every coin has two sides, every new thing comes with its pros and cons. It is on us how we accept it, move forward with it, and construct something new from it. I would just like to give one message to my wonderful audience, and that is equilibrium leads to tranquility. If we understand the difference between modern technology or human relations, then no obstacle can seize us from being a good person, and no technology can bar us from maintaining good relationships. Thank you very much.
One of the iconic motivational speakers and TV star Tony Robbins said once that it doesn't matter where you start your life; it all matters where you end up in, and that is what it counts. And so this girl is going to end up into one of the best of the things in her life. So she got the talent, and a similar talent is to roll in now. F16 is the time for this little chap to come in. F16, your time starts now.
Good evening, every honorable judges. I, Master Sid Purayash, is highly privileged to get this golden opportunity of sharing my views on the topic Are newspapers relevant today? My answer
Yes.
is yes.
Yes. Please switch on your camera. Yes.
Okay, okay, really sorry for that. Good evening, honorable judges and my dear friends. Today, I, Master Sitpura Yash, is highly privileged to get this golden opportunity for sharing my views on the topic Are newspapers relevant today? My answer is yes. The first newspaper in the world was started by Johann Carolus. James Augustus Hickey is known as the father of Indian newspapers as he was the inventor of the first newspaper, Bengal Gazette. The main aim of newspaper is to share as efficiently as possible each and every information to the surrounding peoples. Newspapers contains various depth-to-depth information about various fields like economy, trade, agriculture, sports, tech news, national and international affairs. Also, there is a section for kids where they can showcase their talents by writing poems, articles, and writing reviews on a particular topic. Also, there are sections which contains description of biographies of great people who have contributed in the progress of this country. In recent years, schools have started distributing newspapers to the students so that they can develop their vocabulary and it will help in improving their reading skills. In today's digital world, newspapers have been evolved in e-newspapers. E-newspapers. Each and every people can't afford buying electronic devices in today's world for reading news online. But newspaper don't need any internet connection. You can read news online on newspapers 24 by 7 without the help of internet connection. Newspapers are distributed manually so that it can reach each and every nook and corner of the world. Newspapers also contain advertisements of recent products which are came in market, and it will help in boosting the economy of our country and will the business of our traders. Also, it contains various job of opportunities for unemployed people so that they can get their jobs and our country can become a working country. In recent issues of Corona, many newspaper branches have fallen down. But due to betterment in the situations, we hope that those newspaper branches will rise again and the process of sharing news and sharing information by newspapers will go on. Newspapers are informative and they will help us in widening our knowledge and thinking. I want like to conclude my speech by saying that newspapers were relevant in the past, newspapers were relevant in today, and newspapers will be relevant in future. Newspaper, the reign of newspapers will never extinct in the humankind, as newspapers were effective from when it was invented till it is been going on. But there are various obstacles like digital media, which obstacles newspaper by giving news online. But everyone knows that the king is the king. So I would request each and everyone to reduce their time by watching movies and cartoons on online, but start reading newspapers in the morning so that they can widen their knowledge. Thank you.
Uh, Wonderful. I suppose he intentionally put his camera off because this is what Tony Robbins said, that if you want to grab the attention of people to that they should listen to you, you have to do something which can acquire their attention. And this kid really did that. Wonderful job. In terms of participants, we are done with them. They have done a great job, and it is not because I'm one of the faculty, so I'm saying it, but obviously they did really good job. And now we'll roll on with our speakers. But before that, I just want to confirm our speaker, the first one to come is ready.
Yep.
Ms. Sonu Sarda ma'am, are you ready with your thing so we can proceed?
I am kind of ready. I just want to ensure that all the students have their videos on, and this is going to be more of an interactive session. So definitely solicit their presence there. So
absolutely, ma'am. So before Sonu ma'am would take over, Sonu ma'am, are you from Sydney?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have great memories, though I've never been to even Singapore, and Sholapur is the only destination which I go. But then Sydney, the moment I think about Sydney, Sydney Opera is there. Sydney Cricket Ground, my goodness, it is one of the finest grounds, and I have a great memory of Sydney Cricket because great Brandara made 282 in the fourth inning, and West Indies won that match, and he was so excited that the evening in the hotel room he got a news from Jamaica that his wife gave a birth to a girl child, and what was the name we should keep. The very instantly Brand said Sydney, and Sydney Cricket Ground brings all these wonderful memories of great Brandara, West Indies, and everything. And I am sure that when students will listen, go through the entire presentation and this wonderful speech of Sonu ma'am, they will also now connect Sydney along with Brand Lara, along with Sydney Opera, and Sonu ma'am would be the integral part of that Sydney. Great to see you here and to listen, but obviously it is our privilege. I hand over to Sonu ma'am to continue.
I'm really feeling very humbled. And before I get started, first of all, am I audible enough? Because sometimes that's am I audible enough?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Great. Yeah. And I mean, it's definitely, I feel very honored and humbled the way you've introduced. But first thing is a big compliment to all the students, all the presenters. They have been really amazing. And I was thinking, what am I going to deliver to them now? Because all of them have demonstrated one or the other bit of what I wanted to say there, right? So today what I want is now for all the participants here to take this little workshop more as a point of reflection for themselves to see, was there something that was missing, what they did not include. So I'll be kind of actually explicitly taking through the do's and don'ts or as to what public speaking is all about. And I definitely solicit everyone's participation because it's interactive. Regretfully, we are not on face-to-face mode. Things would have been much different, but it's like, okay, whatever we can grab, okay? So folks, get ready. Are you all ready for the journey now? Let's hear some of you. Yeah, I can see the facial expression there from F16, and let's get going. Today's key takeaways would be for you, of course, I mean, you're already doing it, but just a little more as to what public speaking is all about and efficacy of public speaking, as in what is its significance. And I could hear a couple of you already, talking about it. I remember F9 did talk about how important it is to have these soft skills. And then there are some tips as in what could be the best do's and don'ts. I haven't done the don'ts. I've just done the do's for you as to what you should ensure when you're doing this. And call for action is very important. We want to ensure that what we take away. So my first question to you all as participants there, what do you think was common among all the speakers today? I need people to speak up, unmute themselves and quickly share their response. Guys, I could have got Padlet or Google Sheets to get your answers typed, but I didn't want to do that because this is public speaking, right? So you should have the confidence of and the comfort level to speak up. That's very important. Okay, yeah, so F16 and F9. Maybe, yeah, F9. Can I see you? I can't see you, but anyway, F9.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. So do you want to say what was common? What did you find common in this presentations today? I mean, one after the other from all speakers.
Yeah, and mostly, so something which is very common is that on of them were giving speeches, and which is very literal meaning of that. But actually, all of them were pretty confident with their. It does not matter whether they had highlighted it or whether they were speaking with their own skills, but they were pretty confident with their content, and they
Okay.
were all very fluent.
Yeah. Okay. And F14. What's your view? What do you think was really common among all the speakers?
Ma'am, I think that for public speaking, the most common thing, even what was today, is we all spoke our thoughts out. Whatever we feel about a particular topic, we spoke that out. We spoke our minds out.
Okay. And how about F16? You have raised your hand too. And I'm
The
sorry
common
if I
thing,
don't give opportunity to everyone. Yeah. Yeah.
the common thing in all of us was always literally working hard for their speech. Means it concludes that always serious about today's competition.
That's beautiful. You were all serious. Love that. Yeah, you were all really good, and everyone was actually delivering a speech pretty much. And I think F. Oh, okay. F. Oh, I'm getting more people coming in. That's really cool. Okay, F15 and F3 very quickly because we are time constrained as well. Yeah, come on. Yes, F3 and
Ma'am, everyone was brilliant, and the best thing was that that everyone was confident, everyone wanted to win, and everyone were very good and brilliant at expressing their views and their thoughts.
and F3. You wanted to say something? Else I move on. F3.
Yeah, ma'am, everyone has their different point of view. Everyone sees the world in different perceptions, and that shows how people are in this world, because the world is kind of going fake or something like that. But today it shows that people are more thinkable and they don't show out more often.
So spot on, most of you. I would say I don't remember the number exactly now. It was F9, I think, who said or F8 who said that it is you were all speaking out your mind. You were all speaking about a thought. So basically, at the core of public speaking is nothing but an idea. That's the core. No matter what you're doing, we do talk about so many other things, other aspects, but the bottom line is when you're talking about public speaking, it is all about communicating an idea, right? That just, your worldview, what you think of, and why is it important will come up very soon. Yeah, there's someone who has popped up a message, guys. Yes, okay, yeah, F14. Yes, F14, you were there, right? So definitely that was correct. And when you talk about this public speaking, let's delve further because there is another argument that did come up from one of you just now. And that was again so spot on, but let's see how it goes again. I want you to complete this sentence. I hope this, oh, my slides are stuck now. What happened? One sec, guys. Oh, yep. Oops. Yep. Can you complete this sentence with just maximum of 2 words? Life is too short. So let's hear on very quickly, one after the other.
Live,
Okay,
live it to the fullest.
Okay, F14.
Yes, ma'am, live to fullest.
Live to fullest. Okay, next.
Live it like of now.
3 words now. No, I just want to. Oh, like, oh yeah, is okay, fine, that's fine. What else?
Enjoy every bit of it.
Enjoy every bit. That's it. So, okay, so, I mean, just the same sentence. Okay, F12 and F11. F12 first and then F11. Sorry if I'm missing on some. Yeah, F11.
Yeah, live every moment to the fullest. Enjoy everything.
Yeah, 11.
Life is too short, so keep loving yourself.
Okay, that's really nice. And I can see all of your really motivated spirits there and so wonderful to see here. F3, you want to say something? Yeah.
Life is too short, so be you.
Ah, life is so short. Okay, be you. Ah, yeah, I've written a lot of poetry on that. So, what exactly you could see just now, so many of you did say, and I've just written down a couple: live it, let go, work hard, love it, anything, right? Just now we said that public speaking is all about communicating a thought, an idea. And again, that idea, that view that you hold, your personal worldview that you hold, is likely to differ. If you just see just one same sentence, same topic, everyone had a different perception, different views on it, right? And that makes it all the more important. How do you reach? How do you reach others in communicating your ideas, what you think, and make the change? And that is where it is very, very vital, a skill. And more so, I mean, some of you have already kind of pointed out when you were presenting that how important it is in terms of human connection, because we are not dealing with machines. So again, it is all the more important, it is all the more vital that we are able to communicate with people in an effective manner, right? So how do we do it? Of course, there are different ways. So you could just memorize the speeches, whatever idea you have, you can make a presentation, have impromptu or a manuscript or an extempore. Some more thoughts. This is a little riddle for you now. Does anyone know which one is the wealthiest place in the world? You have brilliant ones, I can tell you that. You'll come up with some. Okay, F9. Yeah.
Ma'am,
F9.
let me first ask you, what do you actually mean by wealthiest? What do you mean? Hello?
Ah, there you are. Critical thinking.
What do you
Cool.
actually mean by wealthy? And,
That's good.
I
No,
want
this
to
is
mean it like,
triggering some questions. I'm triggering some discussions from you. That's it. Wealthiest is like, which place do you think could have been really, really very wealthy as compared to, anywhere?
it depends on the people living there and how wealthy or how open they are with others.
Okay, yeah. So you are quite interactive there. Anyone else wants to say something? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. F8. We haven't heard from you. F8. Yeah.
According to me, I think it's our brain because the amount of knowledge that we have in it, if we start sharing it, we can be the wealthiest.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. So you're coming close to the idea that I wanted to actually disseminate. So that's interesting. Yeah. F14. And guys and girls, I'm so sorry. My apologies because you have got your numbers there. So I have to call you as F14. Like I'm feeling as though I am in some kind of a prison place. So I'm so sorry. But
Ma'am,
I
it's
think
totally all right. I feel
I
like
don't.
the wealthiest place is where we are happy and when we get knowledge.
Yeah, so you have got some wonderful things there again to share, and I was just taking your inputs. But very interestingly, one of the wealthiest places that people often call jokingly is, why is it wealthy? Science students would say it will create a lot of fossil fuels eventually. Maybe not. The reason we call it as one of the wealthy places is because billions of ideas get buried there just because they were not shared. Just because people lack that skill, they lack that confidence, they lack that platform to share it with the people, right? So that's just a part of humor, of course, but it is just reinforcing the basic point that it is extremely important for everyone to have these soft skills to be able to share what's their idea. And why it's important further? Read it if you can. Your view of the world, and if you communicate effectively, it will change the worldview. Pretty much what F8 said, that it is the brain is very, very important. And if I can, communicate what's there with me and I can be one of the richer ones. And this is what the leaders do, right? This is exactly what all the leaders who have, it's not just sheer education. I mean, I remember, who was it? I did make a note. F9 did say about the soft skill importance and said, look how important it is for the doctors to be able to communicate properly or take care of their patients, show that, build on that relationship. So, and this is all possible only if you have those skills within. And how within? I don't have it. If you don't have it, what do? It's again a journey. It's a slow process. So everyone can do that, acquire that. So never ever think, no, I don't have it, I can't do it. Professionally, if you started working on your public speaking skills from now, you could, I've just got those little bit of pointers there. You could conduct effective meetings to practice time management. So many of you did that beautiful time management today. I was so very impressed that everyone was so much on dot, proper time, and even when you had a little bit of a glitch, you kind of ensured to quickly come up and go on, right? It enhances listening skills. How can speaking skills enhance listening skills? Anyone? It's a contradictory thing, right? Okay, F9 and then F16. F9.
Once you kind of start speaking, or once you start to have the ideology of a speaker, maybe you feel like how actually your speaker feels and how much he wants others to listen to him, his opinion or his or her opinion, and how important it may be.
How would it be improving on your listening skills? That's what my question is. If I didn't get you right, maybe. F16, do you want to say something? That's good, but yeah.
If we speak properly, others will listen correctly so that they can answer. Or if we listen properly, we can be able to answer the correct thing to them. Otherwise, it will happen like they are speaking something else and we are telling something else.
Yeah, so it's in other words, you do understand that communication is two-way. It cannot be just one way, right? That's one important aspect. Another thing, when you're talking, this is just a part of the tips, of course, you will see it later, that pausing for a few seconds can actually draw the attention of the audience. In other words, if you know to be quiet, if you can listen, and you will need these skills anyways, if you want to build on your public speaking skills, when you train yourself, which should be coming up in the next few slides, I'll take you through. So yeah, boosting team collaboration. So if I can talk nicely, effectively, as some of you did use the word, in a sympathetic or in having that empathy for the other, automatically I'll be in a better position to build on my teams and work better. So this is just a part of a little bit of the professional side of the stories that it can help. But we have some more stuff. Is it only for professional? What do you think? Do we need the public speaking skills only to be, on a professional level, to grow professionally, or does it have more? Okay, F9 is there with the hand up already. Yep, let's hear you.
It is not always necessary only for professional skills. I feel so because public speaking skills, they may be required anywhere, and they are not only based on your speech, but they are based on your opinion, what opinion you have, and how when you deliver them to the audience, how when you create your own worldview, which may change it. It may be changed.
Yeah, how effectively. Very well said there. Good on you. F9. F9. Was it F9 saying? Sorry, my bad. F8. What are your thoughts? And then F6. Yeah.
Public speaking means talking on a day-to-day basis. So it doesn't particularly need to be professional. It is the idea that matters.
It's the
The
idea.
way we speak that matters.
Yes, you've got the word there straight on. You're really holding it on very clearly that it is the idea. Am I able to communicate? Okay, so F6, do you want to say something? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, when we do public speaking, we also enhance our own confidence. We start getting our confidence, and our self-esteem also goes high. And
Yeah.
because of it, you love yourself more and you become yourself more. So that's what I have experienced in my life too. So
Beautiful.
this has happened with me, and if a person is an introvert or is very shy to speak in public, if he or she does a little bit of public speaking, actually they can regain their self-esteem and they can love their self much more.
Oh, that's a very interesting dimension you brought forward. That's really good. F6, F15 wants to say something? Very good. Yeah, F15.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I just want to say one thing, that it is a two-way situation. While in public speaking, even you are giving something to the audience, and even you are learning more things from the audience. So that
Yeah.
also helps you a lot to improvise yourself and also imbibe a sense of positivity in the audience.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just not purely professional. That's something you're all really very much of the view. And I can, sorry guys, just a sec. I don't know why it's not changing. Oh, my slides have got stuck for some reason. Oh, yep, there it is. There it is. Yep. So you were all right. It is not really the case. So some of the benefits, if you can list as to how it's going to help you now, as in now during your college tenure, not just on a professional front. One or two, very quickly. Okay, F16, you want to say something, dear?
As in our college lives, as everyone knows that we all the final participants have taken science. So if we will be able to communicate to our teachers correctly, then only they will be able to correct our doubts. Otherwise, I'm speaking something else and the other one will not be able to understand what I'm speaking. So both the side communication is important.
And you know that's how your teachers' roles have changed. The teachers would only impart knowledge, but now you've got trainers all around. At your school, your teachers are actually your trainers who are not just, giving the knowledge of your subject, or they'll be giving you so many other skills. Sometimes students do feel bad that why is the teacher telling us to make a presentation? Why is this teacher asking too many questions to us? But the bottom line is they are actually the real trainers for you now, because they are honing on those good skills of you, which is very, very important. So yeah, and alongside, of course, very soon in year 12, after that you have your socials, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You want to party, you want to convince mom and dad, I want to go over there. So unless you are in a good position to communicate nicely, maybe no, this is bad idea, right? So yeah, and there are, like, I did talk about you as the doctors and the engineers, but I did hear some good stories from you already, which is so wonderful. And I can clearly see, I mean, definitely you as participants are already quite into it. You do understand its efficacy, which is why you're here today. So, I mean, definitely that's the thing. And yeah, even as an engineer, if you have to communicate your projects, how do you do that? You are an extraordinarily brilliant student, and you have got some real good researches that you're doing, but if you cannot communicate as to what it is all about, your business, you would not succeed. So this is like one of the very, very important skills there. So yeah, we've said that ideas matter, they're most powerful. And this is what you may want to take away from a part of it. Whenever you're making a presentation, any kind of idea that you want to communicate, try and stick to one idea, not multiple at the same time. Yeah, and try and attach a purpose to it. Creating curiosity is very important, and I did enjoy quite a few of your speeches today. Some of you did raise a question, some of you did try to take the audience through. I'm just trying to recollect a couple. You were assertive, you were provocative, especially when it came to your newspaper. Are they required as of now or not? Everyone had those elements, which is really great, and this is very important. It's not a very great idea to always just start your presentation telling I am so and so. No, gone are the days. Gone are the days. It's good to start up whatever you are presenting with some kind of a, you can have the props, you can have some questions, something different, and then you can introduce yourself after that. That's a better way of doing it. Languages. Language, yeah. I've just put a little tick there. Use easy, understandable language. It's very important, people, because sometimes when people are presenting, they think using jargon words, using very floral language would mean, will attract people. No. And that's where maybe it's coming from my own simple to complex model. That's my learning and teaching model. It's important to keep things simple because you're trying to communicate, you're trying to influence your listeners, you're trying to, create that interest of your listeners. So if you use too heavy doses in terms of the words, people can be put off. Yeah, that's one thing. Use easy, and then I've also put the word here only English. I know, your English teachers might not like it, I don't know, but yeah, is it only English? Now, is there anyone want to say something? Okay, some F16 was saying yes or no.
Language will not matter. The what you will speak, that will matter. So speak in such a language that people can understand you.
Yeah, and it's whichever language, take pride in whichever language you are fluent in. Do not ever undermine yourself just because you do not know, let's say, one language and you feel, English is again a language alone. It's not a sign of your intelligence. It's not a sign of your, the strength of your idea. It's a means of communication, right? While, we do understand it's like an international language. I'm myself communicating in English right now, but what I'm trying to instill here right now is let the language knowledge, let it never inhibit your ability to do, to speak publicly. That's very important, guys. And we will talk about it. It's not just the language that matters. We'll see some more stuff on this. And of course, make your idea worth sharing. Always ask yourself a question. Is it going to matter? Is it going to make a difference? Or am I just putting up my own problems or something in general? No, it's very important. The idea must be, it's not necessarily something novice. It's not necessarily like I'm just thinking of when it comes to the innovation world. You have the disruptive innovation, Uber came, Netflix came. So these people would have definitely pitched their completely offbeat ideas, right, at that point in time. But then that's how it has to be taken care of. I'll try and cut it short very quickly now because we'll be time constrained otherwise. So key principles of public speaking. There is a mnemonic here I've put in for you to be able to remember. Place the precious gem in your favorite words. So first P is for posture. It's very important when you are presenting your posture in terms of how you're standing. Yeah, it matters. You shouldn't be slouching. You shouldn't be like, too casual, leaning against something. Have a good body language, as we call it. Have a presentable way, and keeping your and I've just put up the name here, and I've given the reference to these at the end of these slides. One of the good talks by Amy Curry on TED is the power positioning. So some of you did say, it's a matter of confidence, most of you were very confident. So I'm sure you did have something already ingrained there, but ever you feel down and low, do the power positioning before you go for this. Power positioning here this is power positioning, guys, okay? But that doesn't mean you stand on the stage like this. No, I'm saying before going on the stage, right? But commonly this is the power positioning when I'm just, you have your hand movements, the gestures, that will make a difference. P is the pace. Sometimes, of course, we are very time constrained, so it's better again. We have said that one idea, pause, and try and have clearer pronunciations. Now, when it comes to the pronunciations, you do have dictionary.com if you're making presentations in English. You can always, go on that online dictionary, and that's where, again, the digital world comes in. So try and use that, and that will help you, communicate more effectively and more clearly. I'll take your inputs on this now. Gestures. I've already put in the word body language. But does anyone know what is the 7% rule that I have put in here? Anyone? Yeah, F9.
Actually, sorry, but I don't have any idea regarding it. But maybe I'll make a guess.
Yeah, good.
Is it something regarding how much percentage of your speech is influenced by your verbal part or your non-verbal part, something like that?
Yeah, you're very smart at taking up the clues. You're good. So that's beautiful. Yeah, F9. That was pretty much. Ideally, it's a research proven fact that it's only the 7% that is communicated through what you speak, and that's where again I said, let language never be a barrier in your head. That can I, I don't know this language. Would I be able to speak? Even if you don't know, as long as whatever idea you want to communicate, you have simple words and in any other language also. And I have got some tricks also how to practice on that for you. I'll be sharing that link as well. So about, you can see 93% is actually communicated through the body language. 38% is voice modulation, and 55% just through your body language, as in how you're presenting, how you're talking, what's the engagement and the other stuff in terms of your eye contact. Yes, eye contact is very important. Otherwise, it could feel that you're reading. I mean, in this situation right now, in the virtual world, it's a little difficult, but still, trying to, your eyes should be like, right now, you can see me, like I'm literally looking at whatever little screen I have, I'm trying to talk to you, right? And that's what it should be. And you can always practice it by yourselves at home, on computers, on your phone, on your system, right? And it is very important. Now, sometimes people do feel very freaked out on the stage. Happens? Did anyone of you feel that freaking out today? No? That was cool. Then it's fine. But if at all ever it happens, sometimes it's a good idea to have that eye contact, but do not try to read your audience, expressions. You keep a contact, moving your eyes, seeing people. But if you start processing people's expressions, you might go off. So always try and, it's important. It's just like a little trick there. Have that eye contact, but do not try to take too much of people's expressions into your head. Do not try to process it, especially if you're doing it on a stage talk. But yeah, if you're having a meeting or something, you have to kind of process that expression. Are your audience interested or not? That's very important, so that you can change the speech or change the content or talk differently, whatever, right? The movement, if you're delivering it on a stage, you cannot be, just, okay, yeah, there's someone, F16, you want to say something? Oh, okay, no, yeah.
As you told that there will be, hello?
Yeah.
As you told, there will be people sitting in front of you and you need to give them importance. But there will be some people also who will try to make you fall down. But if we are focused, then no one can make that thing to happen.
You're very right. That's where I was telling you that do not try to, process the expressions of people too much also. Everything has to be like in limits, so which is so perfect. Because if you take too much of that, and there might be people who are pulling you down and you're like suddenly feeling, oh no, I can't, right? So yeah, it's important. And movement, of course, right now I'm sitting here, but still somehow, you can see that my hands were going, and I wish I could, I didn't have, I thought you wouldn't be able to see me properly. So yeah, so, but keep it restricted, not too much of movement, but do not be stagnant on the stage. Don't just get behind the podium. Don't just, stand in one position. It's always good to, move a little sideways or in front, just so that you're engaging with the audience who are really present there, and keeping your body language in that sense. And of course, the facial expressions and voice modulations and intonation. Facial expressions would automatically come in people if you believe in your idea, right? Whatever you're presenting, it will come up. And it's like if I come on the stage and say, guys, I have a good news to crack today. How does it feel? Point blank, right? So that that expression should come in line with what you're talking. It's very important. And your voice modulation and intonation, as we have already said, up to 38% is communicated through your voice tone. So it's very important to have a good pitch, and and that's where I think, yes, I must again commend your English teachers, especially when you are, delivering in English, where the comma is coming in, where the pause is, and where the exclamation mark is coming in. I need to have my expression and I need to tone down in line with that, right? So it is very important to have that voice modulation, and that's how you can connect and engage people. And call for action, people. What do you think? Do I have some of you who would say that this is what we would necessarily do? If I can have your ideas before I share mine. Or have I lost you all? Have I lost you all? Is there anyone who's coming in to share the ideas on? Oh, yes. Look at this. Yes, F16.
The call for action means if we are stuck somewhere while speaking. So it's the time for our actions that we don't lose down. We continue our speech by making few lines, but we should not fall down. Is this action will help us everywhere for not losing hope, but trying hard and make it perfect.
Yeah, what I was saying was here right now in terms of what are the steps you would want to take from now to kind of improve on your public speaking skills or enhance these skills now that you think that it is really important. That was my question. Anyone? Okay, but I can't see anyone, so should I even share that here or no? Yeah, okay. So, of course, to start with, maybe this is the very simple step. You can start listening to a lot of TED Talks and other YouTube talks. You have got a lot of stuff. You are in the digital era, much, much better off than us. You've got the meetup groups. Rather, you should set up a meetup group and try out some self-practice exercises from the link below. This is what I was saying, that there are a lot of nice games that you can actually have and try and practice them every now and then to hone on these skills further. And Toastmasters Club, has anyone heard of it? Students, anyone of you? Okay. And I've got some more, but I'll rather wind it up. I think I can see that quite a few of you have vanished. You're desperately waiting for your results. That's it from me for today. Sangeeta ji, I'll stop here.
Thank you very much. So we have, thank you so much, Sonu ji. I'm sure our children, our students, the participants have really gained a lot by your speech, whatever you had to share with us. And it was really, really very, very precious that you have shared. Thank you so much. And yes, the participants are very, very enthusiastic and motivated, I can see. Although they have been sitting at home since their exams finished in March and April, and they have been, you can imagine, like it's almost going to be an year that they are at home. But I feel that they have not just wasting their time, they have been doing something good. So thank you so much once again to join us. Our another speaker, very proudly, as I told you earlier also, I feel very proud because he is my student, our student, TP Bhatia College student in long back, but yes, he is doing so well. And let me tell you one thing about Dushyant is that I have always that, you can say, a desire to see the best of students becoming teachers, and it never gets fulfilled. At least in India, it is still, we have a long way to go. But any student who is preparing, who is doing something, he's very brilliant and he is at the top of the chart, and he goes and chooses to become a teacher, it really is a good day for me. That particular student becomes my favorite, and that has happened with Dushyant. and he was into photography, he was into filmmaking, he did so many things, he traveled across the world through these, I think, 10, 12 years. And today he is teaching at the Hult, he is teaching at the Greystone College in Vancouver, Canada. And it is really, really a matter of great pride for TP Bhatia College today, where that our student is a professor there in a Greystone College. So welcome Dushyant once again. We have Dushyant Kawdiker, and he is going to also share some of his experiences with all of you. Students, this is, I know we are shooting our time, but I think this is very, very precious. We will not get these important people here every day, because for him it's an early morning there, and he might have done a lot to be with us, because he is also a very busy person. So let us all listen carefully what he has to say. And see, we have two people from across, from the extreme corners of the world. So it's a really, really, you are privileged, I can say. So Dushyant, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's so very kind of you to welcome me in this way. But trust me, it is all my pleasure, privilege, such an honor to be here in front of my old class teacher, Anu ma'am, and also my English professor, Samir sir. So there's some sort of pressure here. I know I'm a teacher myself, but the respect or the things that I've learned back in 2006 and 7, they might never go away. So I'm going to keep it really interactive because students, it's 16 years that I have to discuss with you and can never stop learning. And it is too much to compress those 16 years. It would be nice that all of you really switch on your camera so I can see your tiny little faces on the screen and understand how you react and emote and express through your nonverbal communication, as Sonu ma'am rightly put it across. And I think I cannot stress enough how important it is to communicate your ideas. But I think I must open this to a Q&A format, uh, really getting into the journey of my life because I don't know where to start. It is too much. It is a lot. So anybody, feel free, raise your hands, ask me a question, and maybe I'll take that as a cue and move on from there.
Dushyant, since we are into the event is a elocution competition, I would like you to
Okay,
begin with that. How this this quality of yours has helped you all through.
absolutely. I would love to
You
do
could
that.
give to this, yeah.
I would love to do that. Let me tell you, people, no question is a stupid question, and no opinion is less than any other. And through my school life, or even college and later years, I think I had this curiosity to always ask questions and know more. And learning never stops. Even if you're speaking wrong, allow someone to correct you. And you don't need to have any ego or any arrogance that how can this individual correct me, because you're always learning all the time. There's always somebody else in the room who knows better than you. They have a better experience, they have better knowledge, they have a better skill set. So you can probably be learning from a 3-year-old child, you can probably learning from a man on the road, you can also be learning from the bus conductor. Everybody has a piece of advice, and using all the experience around you, you can build your vocabulary, you can build the style of speaking. I always tell my student this: your network is your net worth. The kind of people you hang out with, your friends, what kind of speech do they use? Do they use foul language? Because trust me, you are a sponge, and once you absorb something, that's what you will give out eventually. So if you're listening to good language, if you're listening to good vocabulary, if you're reading good books, I think a student spoke about reading newspapers, but not to restrict yourself to newspapers, but also looking at the BBC News. They use amazing vocabulary, and absorbing and grasping the vocabulary will help you give out the same. So it's very crucial and important. I think my father, thanks to him, I started studying English at a very young age of 2. We had a register, and he would make me write alphabets, and we would start doing words. And the first book he ever got me was a children's picture dictionary. And that's how I started learning the language. And it was quite a fight when I started writing poetry in the 8th grade, and I knew that I would want to take up arts after my 10th grade. And such a battle. I'm sure sometimes Indian parents can be harsh and they have a certain notion of, no, you should get into commerce or science and be an engineer or a doctor. It has been a challenge, and in the last 15, 16 years, I haven't given up on the dream. And I had to align myself to a profession which allows me to talk because I was always very talkative. And I think teaching was a profession that gave me the freedom to continue sharing my ideas to influence people, as Sonu ma'am suggested. Because if I'm not able to speak, if I'm not able to influence other people, then what have I done? I haven't probably fulfilled the purpose of my life. So, public speaking is not only sharing ideas, but also speaking right and with respect and being polite about it and absolutely losing any sort of arrogance. Um, it so happens that we might be brilliant and are aware of your brilliance. Arrogance sets in. There is some sense of pride that, oh, I'm an amazing person. Maybe I'm the person who knows best, and nobody else knows anything beyond the scope of my understanding. Humility is so crucial and important in public speaking. You need to be humble when presenting your ideas or talking to somebody, and respect is another factor. No matter how young or old they are, no matter what gender they are, no matter whether they have education or not, they will always have something better to tell you. So always remember, be polite, be humble, have respect. And through the journey of many, many years of, doing my bachelor's, or I think I'm going to share something with you. Uh, Network, when I say about network, it's okay to let go of people who are pulling you down. And I might come across as harsh, but practically in the real world, nobody's your friend. And let me be very honest. Your friends are the few five people who you care and they care about you. Everybody else is just going about their lives, doing their jobs, making money, feeding their families. And I'll be very honest about you guys. Young minds, so you're yet to see the struggles beyond. And I feel you guys are lucky to be in the digital age. When I was in the 12th grade, I had a Nokia 3315, a small box of a stone which would break into three, four pieces. It would fall down and come back together. And I did not have access to information at the push of a button. I had to probably go to a library, which is in Kandivali, um, or go to a cyber cafe with special permission from mum and would get those precious 20 rupees to go to cyber cafe to do some research and then come back home on a floppy disk. So things have changed. Please use the time, please use the resources. I wish I could go back and change few things, but I don't have the time anymore. The time travel, I'm sure it exists. I don't have access to it. So use this time, have informed decisions. So especially have informed decisions if you involve money. So I'm sure your parents put in a lot of effort in bringing you up and facilitating your education. But informed decisions will allow you to have less regrets in life. So especially when you're making major decisions, or mom, I want that phone because my friend has that phone. You can change that. Do you really need that phone? Is it going to help you in your progress for education or a better career? Is it going to allow you to be a better individual or a human being? Then you can get that device. Absolutely. There is no harm in doing that. But otherwise, you can always avoid such things. As far as moving around in society is concerned, you are a product. Always remember that. The way you speak, the way you move, the clothes you wear, they are not just expressions, but they're also brand building. So, how you portray yourself, carry yourself, you're literally creating a brand. People are always watching you, judging you, perceiving you, and building ideas about you. And based on all these factors, that's how your life will move on eventually. So if you portray yourself as a certain individual, and maybe you're better at something, maybe say you're better at singing, or you're better at dancing, or better at probably you know coding well, but you haven't aligned yourself to that special talent or skill set, and you haven't branded yourself, then there is a mismatch and people will not take you seriously. So walk the talk, as they say. If you talk about it, then walk it, practice it. Don't simply preach it. It's very easy to preach, trust me. With students, when I speak in classrooms, I wonder, do I actually do this? Yes, I share all the knowledge, but do I actually inculcate in my own life? And I want to share some examples with you because I'm always learning and I'm always studying. So I've created a small diary, which I'm just going to show you a page because, information. But I make sure whenever I come across new words, I write them down. So even when I'm watching a movie, I have a book and a pen with me because there are certain words that I don't know, that I haven't heard. Even if you're watching Netflix, for all I care, keep a book and a pen because you have something to learn, right? Write down the words, understand how you can use them in your vocabulary, where you can use them. Is it appropriate to use them? Right? So give it some thought. And I will share with you a TED Talk, which I always share with people who I care about. Um, 10 ways to have a better conversation. I'm sure for the most part, Sonu ma'am has already covered a lot of it. So I'm going to try to compress this. But if you see this TED Talk every 10 days, you will learn something new. And I will share the link with you right about here. Um, it's called 10 ways to have a better conversation. And even if you learn one rule, if you learn one rule in a month, you have progressed to become a better conversationalist. And I will share the link with all of you. So Celeste Headley says, and I think one point that I really like, and in Sonu Sada ma'am also stressed upon it. First, listen. First, understand. Then be understood. We have a problem, humans. We do not listen. We are waiting for a turn to answer. When will I have my chance to tell him the same story when I went to Disneyland? They don't care about you. Let me be very honest. When you're standing in a group of people, they don't care about you, they care about themselves. And it might sound harsh again, but that is a harsh reality. So wait for people to finish, understand what they have to tell you, think, investigate, give it a pause, as ma'am said, and then say what you have to say. In that fashion, you really reduce the number of words that you're using and you pretty much do not overlap the thought already shared. So it's fascinating how things come together and how you speak over the years to people. And it's not only about charming people. Charm can work only to a certain extent, but how genuine are you in sharing information? How genuine are you in expressing your ideas to people? And let me tell you, and I cannot stress this enough, your network is your net worth. I'm still in touch with my eighth grade school principal. I'm in touch with my 10th grade school principal. I'm in touch with my 11th grade school principal. I'm in touch with Sangeeta ma'am. I'm in touch with my HOD from my bachelor's degree. And why I'm telling you this, because teachers, they are building blocks of our life. All right. They teach you, but they also take away something from you. It's a give and take relationship. And they want and they wish for you to grow in life, right? And trust me, teachers are always learning. It's a harsh job, it's a thankless job, and you cannot be appreciated enough or thanked enough. But so one of the students said that no matter what you do and how you do it, you have to move on. There's always another day. All right. And there is something about not losing out on your dreams. I'm sure you all are science students currently, and I'm glad you all are. It gives you a better perspective in life. Also adds value to how you speak to people because you have a rationale and logic to everything around you. So I'm glad I went through the science stream, but yet I chose to go to mass media and eventually to marketing, and eventually I've settled into teaching. I dabble into filmmaking now and then. Trust me, the knowledge, it helps me move around in society. It allows me to talk to different kinds of people. So today I'm able to communicate with people who are chartered accountants or people who are engineers because I know where they come from. Or even I can speak properly to doctors because I had that 12th grade biology subject that was so painful, Anu ma'am, with the drawings and all the written material. It was really painful, but yes. So keep gathering knowledge all the time. I wish I had more time to expand on certain things, but I think I can squeeze in 5 minutes for quick questions. I feel I do have 5 minutes. Do I have 5 minutes, ma'am?
Please go ahead.
All right. So, any questions, please be as open as you can. Don't be hesitant. Yes, F9.
Yeah, sir. Once during your talk, you mentioned that people judge us at each and every moment. And by this, do you mean that we are supposed to live up to the expectations of others?
Do not assume and do not expect. That's another thing I'll tell you. You do what you feel best. You have to make sure that you are achieving the best of your ability. Of course, making sure that you don't harm anybody, you don't humiliate anybody, and you do not bring down anybody. You have to take the ton along with you. The success of your peers means your own success. A good leader literally drives the team. If the team is successful, he or she is automatically successful. So you live up to your own expectations. Set your own expectations. Today I will run a kilometer. Tomorrow I'll run 2 kilometers. Self competition is so important. Maybe your neighbor might have a Ferrari. It's okay if you have a Maruti Suzuki. See, the objective of a car is to go from point A to point B, not how expensive it is, how economical it is, or whether you get there on time or not on safely. So don't necessarily live up to expectations. You cannot make everybody happy. It's impossible. Yes,
Thank you.
F16. F16, you had a question?
Yes, sir. I only need to ask that people say that I am different from them. There's some people have their own standards and they can't go against that. The standards which will help them for their fruitfulness, not about the others' fruitfulness and what they think. They think that we want to work how they want, but I only want to ask that if we work by our own self and what we are doing is perfect and not it will not harm anyone and it is not going to take anything from anyone. So by working on our own standards, is this perfect, right?
It's okay to have your own standards, but it's also important to have some room for flexibility. All right. I'm going to give you a really
Yes.
worldly example, and I'm not sure if the teachers will agree with
Oh,
me by sharing it here, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. As you grow older, you will find yourself in company with people who drink alcohol, or you will find yourself in company of individuals who use abusive language. Now, you have your own standards of probably not practicing that. Does that mean you should stop communicating with these people? Are these bad people? No, they're not bad. They're just following their own standards. So you hold
yeah.
your own, but also be flexible about them. Don't tell them how to live their life as long as they're not harming you. See, the point here is inconvenience. You shouldn't be of inconvenience to anybody and vice versa. So hold your own standards. I do have my own standards.
Okay.
I live like a student.
Thank
I'm
you.
turning 32 in April. I'm still living like a student in a shared apartment. I don't have a driver's license. I don't have a car. I've been in Canada since 4.5 years. That's my standard of living, that I'm living an adventurous life. And it's okay, people adjust.
Thank you
Any
so
other
much, sir.
questions? I think there are no other questions, so I will close this talk. Students, you are in a golden age right now. You have the best of resources. You have access to anything and everything under the sun. So internet, it's strong, but it's also harmful. So use internet really wisely. There are so many online learning courses. University of Harvard, there are Ivy League schools who are giving out 2 weeks, 4 weeks free courses, and you can actually Google and search for these online courses and utilize your time to learn new skill sets. The competition is really high. Bombay is crowded, and I'm not kidding. Everybody wants to get ahead in the rat race, right? And nobody will serve you anything on the silver platter. You have to go and grab it for yourself. So, learning, implementing, preaching, and practicing, they have to go hand in hand. All right. And as far as speech and talking is concerned, if you have a certain standard for speech, hold on to it. You can avoid abusive language because that will spoil your language eventually in the long run. And you will realize 10 years down the line and probably regret about it. Because as you speak to normal people professionally, it will hurt you. And you might think, oh, I should have changed when I had the chance. And another thing, networking. Keep in touch with people. They might hurt you, they might pain you, you might not be acceptable to a certain idea about them, but there's always something to learn. So keep in touch with people. I'll be not boasting, but I have kept in touch with so many people from different walks of life, and I have become a beacon now. And people come to me for jobs sitting in Bombay. And somebody says, Dushyant, I need a job. I said, okay, give me 5 days. And they have a job on the third day. How? Because I connect the dots. I'm sitting in Canada, but I get people jobs, and that has helped me by talking. So, talking can help you go places or can help other people go places. So, I'll keep it short. All the best, people, all the best students. The talks were really awesome, and I cannot stress enough that how amazing it is to be here.
Thank you very much. It was really, really, I would say, for the children, pearls of wisdom from you, Dushyant. Your own experiences, not read from anywhere, but what you have lived. And I'm sure children, students have really benefited from it. And some other time, I would love to have you for the wider audience of the students, because here only few are there. Yes, there are children listening to you on the YouTube, but we will have another designed talk by you. So for now, I would say thank you for today, and we have another very, very distinguished guest amongst us, Miss Ruby Malshe ma'am. She is the HOD from Wilson College, and we all know about the Wilson College. It's a very established and reputed college of Mumbai and India. Ma'am is a writer. She writes stories, she writes poems. She has published 3 books. One about poem, one book is on poetry, one is a storybook, and there is another novel which is called Jars Filled with Gold. I would love to read these books. Short stories, The Short Skirt, and one poetry book. And she also has a YouTube channel where she writes inspirational stories. Welcome Ruby ma'am amongst us, and I request you to speak to the students, and just after you we will announce the results. Students, please be here, and I'm sure you will not go away. Put on your videos, listen to ma'am carefully, because as I told you earlier also, you won't get to hear them every day. Welcome ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you very much. Congratulations to the Bhatia College team and to the distinguished speakers, Dushyant and Sonu, ma'am. I really loved what they spoke. Dushyant, you really spoke from your heart. Actually, the earlier speakers have hardly left anything for me to talk because they're so wonderful and they're virtually covered everything. So I would just like to ask, before I speak to you all, students, you have prepared definitely a lot for this online competition. If this was an offline competition, can you tell me what would have been the difference? How different would it have been from this online to offline? Can some of you quickly tell me how different your preparation would have been? Yes, F16, F9, please unmute and tell me.
I only want to say that the efforts would be the same, but there would be a less tension thing, like whereas we are on online. So due to internet issues, we are worried that if it stops in between. So, but in offline, it won't happen. So that was an advantage of offline. But
All right.
let's due to some issues, but we can manage. We are humans.
All right. F9 has his hand up. F9.
Ma'am, actually,
Yes.
my case is pretty different and it is pretty unique because in my 10th grade, I used to be very enthusiastic, but I hardly used to get a chance to speak on stage. And wherever I used to speak up, I used to mess up everywhere. And I had no idea what to do about it. So actually, maybe this online competition is actually the first time I am excelling so much. And I'm pretty happy about it. And I don't think there would be much difference in the offline and the online versions of both of them. But of course, there would be some minor differences and they are to be taken into consideration.
You're right, absolutely right. Now, in my experience of 33 years of teaching, what I have faced is when students are in class, there are more inhibitions with them. They're more worried, they're more scared sometimes, they are embarrassed in things. But this offline thing is, opened up. Open them up and because their cameras are off many times and they, without any hesitation, they want to talk, they want to express themselves. And I think that both the sides have, the pros and the cons. So, of course, if you were offline, certain things that you would have to focus on, that when you are on stage, you're going to talk to people, you will have to focus on how you look and how comfortable you are with whatever you are wearing, because you can't go on stage like you're a girl, you can't go on stage with something which is very, very tight and then be uncomfortable over there, or a short skirt and then keep pulling it down because you find that some of the people from the audience are glaring at your legs. So you have to be very, very comfortable with whatever you are wearing. This was not the case over here. We couldn't see the whole of you, so that was fine. And also, this was a prepared speech. So you had well rehearsed it, you had the outline with you, you had your practice with you, so all of it goes. And as when Sonu ma'am had asked you about the confidence part, and you all said that yes, we need the confidence. And I feel that when we want to talk, we have to just, without any hesitation, of course, in limitations, without any hesitations doesn't mean that I insult the feeling of the other person. I keep the dignity and respect of the other person, and yet I communicate my thoughts, my views, my feelings, my emotions. So I speak from my heart. That's very, very important, that you speak from your heart and you don't speak something which somebody else has spoken, and you just verbatim, you just give it all out, because the audience is not a dumb audience.
Ma'am, you are muted.
All right. I don't know. My computer is acting a little funny. So it's like you have to be very opened. And yes, there is an ideal standard that you want to convey, but then there is also the practicality that you have to focus on. Also, your audience, as I said, is smart, and they are going to see your body language and your nuances, how you're going to talk, certain expressions like, the recent word ayo, which has been incorporated into the dictionary. So ayo will be spoken in such different ways, when somebody is going to look at a beautiful girl and whistle, and then say ayo, that will be different. And then if you're going to say, oh, something horrible has happened, and you say ayo, so the nuances will come, or you are just, shocked and you say, are you? So there is so much of nuance in your speech when you talk, and your body language, your movements, your eye contact. And of course, there are different types of speech. There is a speech that is memorized. That was yours. You had memorized it. And you did a good job in your memory. And of course, you were really good. All of you were really very good, and I really appreciate it that you all are such young students. You all are so bold that you all have just come from your 10th standard, and you all have come forward to take part and participated, and you have done a good job. You all have done a good research on the topics given to you, and you have, with your own strengths, put up your ideas. But one thing I would like to say is that wherever we go, wherever we talk, whatever we are doing, we must, I feel the school that I went to had the motto, play the game. It's not win the game, but play the game, which is very important. And it's a sad thing that most of us today, many people today, are doing everything just to win. Am I better than the other fellow? Did I speak better than him? Did I have more information than him? Well, you may not have had more information, but you spoke from your heart, and that is the most important thing. So if you want to ever participate in competition, then you compete only with yourself. You compete and you be better than what you were yesterday, than what you were today morning, than what you were today 1 hour back or half a minute back. So just compete with yourself. And of course, like you must have prepared for how many hours for these few minutes that you spoke on today, when the clock was going tick, 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 when I could see. So how many hours, how many days did you stand probably in front of the mirror and say it? You told your mother to listen to you, father to listen to you, brother to listen to you, friends to listen to you, probably even your teachers must have listened to you, given you some mock drills, some trials, right? And it just got over so fast. So the people who look at you don't see how many hours have gone before the practice. That is your secret. That is your treasure. And that's most important. So keep on with it. I don't want to take your time. We're already so late. And I'm really glad that Sameer sir invited me. Principal ma'am, I'm really happy to be a part of this whole event. And I wish all the best in advance to the winners. And please remember, there are others who will not win, but that doesn't make you bad or lacking anywhere. All of you were simply fantastic in your own way. It's just like saying, when I have a big platter of meal in front of me, there may be something which I like the most, but then if I were just to have some ice cream, then it wouldn't be enough. I would want the biryani and the rice and the dal, and I would like the vegetables also, and I would like some sauteed things also. And that's the platter, and you are that beautiful platter. So keep it up. And thank you once again.
Thank you very
Yes,
much,
ma'am. Over to you,
Ruby
please.
ma'am. Thank you so much for these wonderful guidance that you gave to these students. And I know that now everyone is very, very eager to know the result. So as you, Ruby ma'am, already said that all of you are winners, because out of 99 participants, these 16 of them have come here for the final rounds. So already all of you are winners. But out of these winners, that the few our judges had a tough time, I guess, because we were to select 3 of you, but then I have got 5 names, so we have 2 consolations and 3 first, second, and third. So those who are not in this list should have no reason to feel bad or feel not good about it that I did not win. But see, as I told you, you all are winners. Let us now go to the prizes. So for the consolation prize, the second consolation prize goes to F8 Akansha Rai. Congratulations, Akansha. Here's your certificate. And you will also, when we meet, you will get some prizes also, which is a surprise for you. And then the prizes are surprise. So when we meet in the college face to face, we are going to have a ceremony where you will be awarded. This is your e-certificate, and you will get a paper certificate when we meet. First consolation prize goes to F7 Nauf Khan. Congratulations, Nauf. And this is Akansha. The second consolation is for Nauf. Then we have the third prize. Third prize winner is F15 Prutha Pandya. Congratulations, Prutha. Second prize goes to F6.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're most welcome. Second prize F6 Gretika Biswal. Congratulations, Gretika. And the first prize goes to Yashvi Majitia F14.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm grateful for this. And I want to actually even thank all our guests who are here today that they took the precious time to teach us so much. And we are taking back too much from here.
Yes, you are right. I agree 100% with you, Yashvi and Yashasvi, sorry. And all those whose names have not appeared here, you all are going to get certificates and prizes as being the being the participant in the final rounds out of 99 participants that we had. And with this, I would once again thank Sonu Sarda ma'am from Sydney, Dushyant from Vancouver, and um, our Ruby Malse madam from Malshe madam from Wilson College, Mumbai, to be here, our guest speaker, and talk to our students, teach them such good things. And
Ma'am,
I want to, yes, I want to,
ma'am, I just want to add one thing before you
yes.
conclude for the event.
No, I'm not concluding. I want to thank the judges first. Please let
Yes,
me,
yes, yes, ma'am.
Samir
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
So, our judges, because I know it's really, really painful job to sit constantly alert. I could see Meena Mishra ma'am when children were speaking, her expressions, her body language was so interesting to observe. Let me tell you, you were like blinking and your eyes were shining, or you were, no, literally, you were 100% with them while they were talking. And Saroj Singh ma'am, you also seem to be so alert at the time when children were speaking. Harsha Chavan ma'am, thank you so much for taking up this difficult job. And one more judge was there, no, our Shoff College teacher, Harsha Chavan. No,
No, no, that was Saroj Singh, ma'am.
Saroj Singh ma'am. Okay, yes, Saroj Singh. So thank you so much for doing this job for us. We are really obliged from TP Bhatia College of Science. Then we had the master of the ceremony, Samir sir. Sir, you are always very, very good in speaking, and when any program, any event handled by you, I really relax because I know that you will take care of everything, and you were really very good because not today, but yes, you have been working with Shalini Miss, Hema Nigandhi Miss. Sorry, I missed her name earlier. Hema Nigandhi Miss, and then we had other teachers like Madhvi Joshi and Rachna Parmar and Shalini Mundhra and all of you, Hema, you, Samir sir, you all, the entire English department had really worked, thought about it, came out with the idea, and you presented it so well. And I'm sure that we will come up with more programs. This in every month we have some activity, and we also students we will also send you to participate in the intercollegiate events which will be happening from other colleges all across Mumbai. And if you qualify, you can even go to outside Mumbai also. Anuradha Miss, thank you for organizing this event. You are the in charge of the co-curricular activity, and this event has come up so well. And we look forward to many more events from the from all of you. Samir sir, you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, no. Even Sonu ma'am was asking about F, and they were all asking about F. F stands for what? So I just wanted to say that in TP Bhatia, students of this entire college, because of management and especially the leadership like you, we make students F for fantastic. We make students fabulous, and we also make students forever. And that's the only reason why Dushyant was talking so much about this college, though he passed out in 2007, and that's the reason why TP Bhatia stays forever in the mind of
Forever,
students.
yes.
And it is all because of you people, ma'am, and it's a great pleasure from our end. Thank you.
That's
the reason
Can
actually I
you
wanted
just
to add up.
communicate?
Yes,
No, that was sorry to interrupt. It didn't mean anything else except that I didn't know their names.
No,
So
ma'am. I just wanted to say F stands for.
That is where I was about.
No, that is perfectly fine. Samir sir was saying that why we kept that thing F1, F2, what the F stands for.
F stands for.
Your students are
Obviously, ma'am, for
lovely
you.
and very fantastic. Indeed,
That
they are
was the reason
fantastic.
actually. Absolutely, all respect for you,
So,
ma'am. The F stands for fabulous. Thank you.
just for the sake of our guests, I would like to tell you all that today is a very, very, very important day for TP Bhatia College because we completed 1,522 admissions in the standard 11th, and we happen to be the largest number of science students in any school attached junior college of science in Maharashtra. And today we have actually crossed the record of our admissions. So many students we never had. We had seats, 1560 seats in 11th, but today we crossed that 1522 number, and we feel very, very good. And this is all due to the excellent staff and the excellent attitude that everybody has in the college of having one-to-one relation with the students. And all the students, I welcome you once again in the college. May you
Excuse me,
have
ma'am.
a wonderful time. Yes, Shalini, miss, sorry, you
Uh,
want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. I would just like to read out. Harsha ma'am has typed her message here,
Okay,
so I think I'll read it on her behalf.
sure, sure.
She says, I must say it was enormous experience with you all. Let me say something about your efforts. So it was tremendous and honest. You really nailed it, guys. Such type of competitions will give you guidelines about art of public speaking, learning model, increase your confidence to use any new language, as language is the strength of human being. It should be nurtured properly from the beginning years. So always put your sincere efforts to develop language skills by participating in such opportunities. It was excellent experience to hear from Honorable Sharda ma'am. My heartiest thanks to organizers for giving me opportunity to listen to such young talents. Thank you.
Thank you, Harsha ma'am. And with this, I would request Meena ma'am and our Saroj ma'am also to say a few words. Yes, Meena ma'am.
Thank you so much. That is the first thing I would like to say. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, students. Can I see you? And hear you too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm super excited, ma'am.
Marvelous. Excited. Which are the other adjectives? Fast. Where are the students?
Fantastic.
Okay, fantastic.
They're
Amazing.
Ma'am, it would not have been possible without your support, principal ma'am's support, and very importantly, the support of our parents. So it
Yes,
was an amazing experience.
absolutely,
Very
absolutely.
true, very true. Okay, so I would like to take this opportunity to give my own introduction, because whenever I go to judge and even for an educational institution, it is more and more of an educator that is being introduced. Okay, and I'm the CEO of the Impish Labs Publishing House. We do books for youngsters. We do books for people across the world from different professions. And why am I telling you this is simply because the kind of speech that you had prepared today, wonderful work done by you, the kind of preparation you had done, but anyone who writes something, if you write something, feel free to express yourself in the form of article, poem, story, one-liners, five-word story, whatever comes to your mind, go for it. Okay, don't feel limited. And any help for publishing you require, just contact your principal ma'am. Okay, and you can get published. So at very young age, we have got published writers and poets across the world. That is one thing I want to tell you. Second thing, I was very happy to see the 11th standard kids. There were children, those who got stuck up. There were children, those who faced network issues, but they did not stop. None of you stopped. Kudos to you. Wonderful work done by you. And yes, your principal is one of the most motivating principals I have known. And Samir Khasne sir, I know him for many, many years. And you are actually blessed to have, such mentors around. So a wonderful work done by the college. Thank you very much for inviting.
Thank you, miss. Thank you, Meena ma'am. So I would request our another judge, Saroj
Saroj
ma'am.
ma'am.
Saroj ma'am, are you there?
Ma'am?
Would you like to
Ma'am?
say something? Yes, Samir sir.
Ma'am, Saroj ma'am got some medical emergency. Her mother
Okay,
is not
okay.
keeping up well, so she rushed into the
Okay, that's fine.
medical assistance.
Okay, okay, that's okay. So I think Samir sir, you want to wind up, or anyone, any of our teachers want to say anything? Madhvi
Ma'am,
Miss,
Harsha ma'am is there, I suppose.
Hima,
Is
Harsha
it?
ma'am, she sent
Yes,
her
hello.
message which Shalini
Okay.
spoke. Yes, Harsha ma'am, Miss, ma'am, are you there?
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Yes.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, I already put my opinion about this competition, and it's really great experience with you to the organizers and the principal of this college and our committee. And the most important thing is that today I met with the young talents. I must say through this pandemic year, I think the most sufferer must be the children, the students, because yes, we can cope up with this, but they suffered a lot and their study really suffered a lot because it's a sudden crisis came for them, and they are not habitual of this. They are using the internet. They are used to of modern technology, but studying with only with this modern technology, with the with a sudden new development and them. But despite all these things, they are still maintaining their rapport with the study, and also they are taking various types of online competition. So it's really a great opportunity you provided them for through this pandemic era. So thank you very much. And I just want to share with the students that keep doing and keep earning and keep growing, because this is not the end. So you have to do something better and must achieve something more, which can fulfill and satisfy your dreams, because until you get satisfied with your achievements, nobody will help you. Whatever you are gaining is only about yours, that how much you are gaining. It's not only important about that whether it will give you opportunity for the further interventions, but it is about that whether you are satisfied with your task with your doing. So just do the things which can make you happy, and also you will get whatever you want if you are happy in your life. So just try to do, I try to put hard efforts, and this number is just I can say just only these are only the numbers. So you will get many more feathers in your cap. Keep doing and keep learning. Thank you very much. Thanks
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you very much. Very well said, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, just one word that comes to my mind right now is I'm
Yes.
so grateful to you for giving me this opportunity to go through all this process of online. I had never imagined I would be able to do it well, but it was you who always constantly there with me, and definitely my colleagues, Hima ma'am and Madhvi ma'am and Sameer sir, anytime. And most importantly, Ashish sir. Without him, I don't think I could have taken this initiative. It was he who was always there with us, and he facilitated every single thing that we desired in this event. So thank you so much. A big thank you to you, ma'am, and to all my colleagues.
You're all most welcome. And let us end here.
Yes,
Samir
ma'am.
sir, is it okay? Shall we end now?
Absolutely, ma'am. I'm done. I'm done.
You have anything to say? We
Ma'am,
can.
No,
only
no,
one
no, no,
statement.
no.
Ma'am, only
Yes,
one
yes,
statement.
Madhvi.
Ma'am, thank you so much. Without your rock support, it would be impossible.
No, no,
Shalini Miss has already said that, but I could not resist my temptation.
that's
And
my
besides,
job. Don't
Samir
worry.
sir brought, but you do it really so well. I mean, we really feel privileged to have you as our principal. One thing, and
You're,
second thing, Samir
thank
sir
you so
got
much.
such dignitaries in
Yes.
the educational world that we could meet them virtually. Harsha ma'am,
So I would
Ruby
say here,
Marsha ma'am,
Madhvi, that
Hina ma'am.
once everything is normal, I would like to say that we will invite these distinguished
Yes,
guests
ma'am.
to our college, and we'll definitely
Man ki
have one
baat,
session with
man
them.
ki baat.
Yes, we'll definitely have them in the college also face to face. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank
See
you,
you
ma'am.
soon.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Have
Thank
a
you.
very good
Thank you.
day. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
much, everyone, for having me here.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
ma'am. Thank you.
It's
Thank
one.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I better sleep.
Thank you, Rachna, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Such a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you,
having
sir.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
for
Thank
the
for
you, Ashish
having
sir.
me
feedback.
here.
Thank you.
Have a
Absolutely a
good
pleasure.
night.
Thank you, Dushyant. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Dushyant sir. And Sarda ma'am.
Thank you, Madhavi, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.